following what many describe as government's inability to fight the Galamsey menace. This morning on The Big Issue, these are the two topics we are discussing.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Hey, the stage is set. Ghana, are you ready? From the 23rd to 28th September, the National Theatre comes alive again with the Ghana Theatre Festival 2025 under the theme showcasing the rich diversity of Ghanaian culture through the performing arts. Kicking off in grand style on Tuesday, September 23rd is an opening ceremony. The week-long festival will feature performances from the resident companies of the National Theatre, School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana, and various senior high schools. Be part of a symposium to discuss the impact of taxation on the fortunes of the arts industry. Let us enjoy the captivating GR People by Efo Kojo Maugbe. And oh yes, the hilarious Run for Your Wife by Image Bureau and April Communications on Saturday and Sunday respectively. There will be loads of networking opportunities, 6 days of drama, dance, music, masterclasses, and many more. Dial *714*39# to purchase tickets for selected performances or visit www.nationaltheatre.gov.gh. You can also call 050-147-6357 or 0244-830-963 for further inquiries. Ghana Theatre Festival, a celebration of heritage.
In a nation full of questions, where truth often hides behind noise, one show dares to ask what truly matters face to face. With fearless clarity and a quest for accountability, host Umaru Sanda Amadou sits down with the movers and shakers of politics, governance, society, and business, confronting the issues that define our national conversation.
The party itself has said that whenever you're in opposition, you should choose flag bearers early.
So what you are trying to tell me is that you want somebody who is going out to come and select a leader for you. So the next person will come and say, but I didn't select him.
Direct victim of attack, violent attack.
Where and when?
The first one happened in Parliament. I was pregnant.
Now, for me, it was legitimized by a radio or TV station giving her a position to work.
So for you, take issue with GH1 and what and giving her the platform.
That is where the minority is. We are on them. We've asked questions.
President Mahama will be a mean president if he prioritizes only his children and DCP. He needs to demonstrate a Ghanaian government.
Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou on Face to Face as he digs deeper, challenges power, and reveals the stories shaping Ghana's future. Only on Channel 1 TV.
It's time to promote volunteerism, active citizenship, and patriotism in Ghanaian society,
where we shine the spotlight on the unsung heroes among us.
Today, we're not just launching a program, we're igniting a revolution of skills, dreams, and hope.
On Volunteers TV, we highlight and celebrate people and groups that are great examples to us all.
Every single region in Ghana, we're doing something.
Good.
So no one's being left behind.
Over 800 kids that come to school, so having an extra classroom, extra resources will be really, really beneficial.
If you're a volunteer, you are actually serving because you are giving up your time and resources for nothing in return.
Volunteers TV, Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
This week on the Upside Down Show, Frema Idunyame and Nana Tufo-Boateng welcome the Palestinian Ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Abdel Fattah Ahmed Khalil al-Satari, for a heartfelt and insightful conversation. He takes us back to his childhood and opens up about the pain and resilience of his people back home.
My mother teach us to have high dignity. Don't ask anyone to help you. Don't ask anyone to give you something. You know, you should stand on your legs. Don't allow to anyone to broken you or broken your family.
How do you feel in the night when you think about your family back home?
Gaza, the people suffering too much. What's happening in Gaza now? Something different. This is the first time in the history. There is no light in Gaza from the 7th of October to now. There is no light.
How many years now?
Close to 2 years.
Close to 2 years.
Yes,
wow.
There is no light.
Amid the challenges, he's still keeping hope alive as he also reveals his favorite Ghanaian dish and much more.
What's your favorite Ghanaian food?
Fufu.
And what?
Only
fufu,
I eat the fufu.
Like
I
soup?
like it.
Which of the soups?
I eat the fufu only.
Make a date with us this Sunday on the Upside Down Show at 7 p.m. prompt, only on Channel 1 TV.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
You're welcome back. You're still watching The Big Issue, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra on Channel 1 Television. It's also live on City 97.3 FM. On The Big Issue, as I told you earlier, we discussed the topics that dominated media discussions in the course of the week. My name is Sammi Wiafe, and I'm sitting for your regular host, Selim Adono. This week, two main issues dominated media discussion. There's a decision of government to accept some deportees from the United States of America. When President John Dramani Mahama met the media somewhere last week, he announced that already 14 of these deportees, mainly from West Africa, have arrived in the country, Nigeria and Gambia to be precise, and they've already been sent back to their country. In an interaction with Bernard Avle on the point of view on Wednesday, just this week Wednesday, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, announced that 40 additional deportees will soon arrive in the country. The decision by government to accept these deportees have, sparked some conversation and debates in the country. The minority in Ghana's parliament and the MPP say the government is breaching Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution, and that the national organizer of the party says they are going to court to seek an interpretation on this matter. But in an interaction with Bernard Avle, the Foreign Affairs Minister justified the decision to accept these deportees from the United States of America. Basically, his point is that they are doing this on humanitarian grounds.
We didn't agree to this because we agree with President Trump's immigration policies. We are not doing the U.S. a favor. Okay. We are doing our fellow Africans a favor. We are offering them refuge. We are offering them succor. We are offering them hope. We want them to come back home and be comfortable. We solidarize with them when we see those images, the arrests, the violation of their rights, being detained against their will, and it's as though nobody wants to take them. So it was purely on humanitarian basis, and we have made clear that we did not accept any financial.
That's Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa. But it did not end there. Bernard Avle put further and said that indeed this is supposed to go to Parliament, but the minister says it's just an MOU or an understanding between the government of Ghana and the United States of America.
It's an MOU at this stage, just an understanding, and MOUs are not ratified. But
really?
as the discussions continue,
if
it is elevated to an agreement,
the Guantanamo 3, some people took the matter to court, and I think the Supreme Court held that whatever name you give it, when two countries come up with an arrangement, that places obligations on both of them. Whether you call it a treaty, a contract, it requires ratification. It was a majority decision. Only one person dissented. So I'm a bit surprised you're saying because it's an MOU, it means that it oughtn't have gone to Parliament. The judgment was very clear on the Guantanamo 3, that Article 75 was violated, which says international agreements must go through Parliament. And you are a 4th-term MP, so at least you could have gone to Parliament. And you have a massive majority. So what's the problem?
No, I agree with you. And that is why I said at the press conference I held a couple of days ago that when this is elevated beyond an MOU and it's a full agreement, we will go to Parliament under Article 75 and have it ratified. At this point, it is just a loose understanding.
The agreement is enforced. But how can you enforce? How can you enforce something you call a loose agreement? The thing is already enforced. You've brought forth and you're bringing forth.
Look, I've inherited so many MOUs that didn't go to Parliament for ratification, and
But because of the precedent of the Gitmo 3, I felt like this was, and you know this. So is it an oversight? Are you going to apologize for it, or you don't think it is?
No, it's not an oversight because we sought the Attorney General's advice. It was discussed in cabinet, and the Attorney General's advice and his counterpart, the Attorney General on the U.S. side, also said that look, this is an MOU, and MOUs do not require ratification. That is why
the Attorney General is wrong, because the judgment is clear. I can read it.
Oh, you know better law than the Attorney General?
At least the law is there for all of us to read. Unless the English reading of what the Supreme Court said is different to all of us.
I didn't see MOUs in that judgment.
The language of Article 75 is perfectly clear. The article forms part of the set of provisions governing the role of the executive arm of government in Ghana's international relations. I'm reading the judgment. Yeah. The scope of the article deals with treaties in general. The side notes and the body of the text makes reference to treaties, agreements, and conventions. It is also clear that the instruments referred to relate to Ghana's international relations with other countries or groups of countries, and the article requires that such instruments must be ratified by Parliament. The Constitution makes no mention of any formal distinctions that are dependent on the formality with which such an instrument is formatted or brought into being. Then it goes on to even list MOUs, etc. This is the judgment. This is a Sophia Kufu. I'm not the one saying it. So I don't know whether you're saying because the AG says, in fact, if the argument of the defendant in the state, the government, were to be taken seriously, that the transaction being by way of note verbal, executive agreement, memorandum of understanding, diplomatic note, or what have you, is merely an administrative one, then the question arises as to the exact status of the said persons now that they are in Ghana. Are they migrants? It's a long argument. It basically says, once two countries agree on something of that nature, Parliament must ratify. It's very clear.
We are working with the Attorney General's advice, and the Attorney General's advice is that when this is elevated to an agreement, it can be ratified. At this point, there's no need for ratification. So
the 40 are also coming?
Yes.
Okay.
And
on humanitarian grounds?
Yes, and don't forget that we also are receiving Ghanaians. So it's not only other West Africans, but there are 166 Ghanaians we are expecting this year. Before
166 Ghanaians?
Yes. Before,
after that, we have no problem.
Before December.
There are people, so they should come.
Yeah.
That's Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa in that interaction with Bernard Avle on the point of view on Wednesday, justifying government decision to accept some deportees from the United States of America. This week also, the Galamsey issue dominated media discussion. There's a view many hold that this government has failed as far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned. The latest to join the mounting pressure on government is the Catholic Bishop Conference. They issued a statement urging government to, as a matter of urgency, declare a state of emergency to address what they describe as the environmental destruction we are seeing across the country. At the media interaction with the president some weeks ago or some days ago, the president said that indeed all options have not been exhausted yet. And so if there's only going to be a state of emergency, it has to come when all the available options are done with. But many are still piling pressure on the president to declare a state of emergency. They believe this is a way to address the issue of Galamsey, which is currently ongoing. These are the two main topics we are discussing this morning on the big issue. And to help me with this discussion is Nana Asafo-Adjei. He's the Member of Parliament for the Bosome-Frewo constituency in the Ashanti region and the Deputy Ranking Member on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament. I also have in the studio Fred Agbonyo. He's the Member of Parliament for the Gwan constituency in the, I think, OT region, right? In OT region. Also, Franklin Kujo, President of Imani Africa, will join us, as well as Andrew Appiah-Dankwa, spokesperson for the Movement of Change. Later on, Awula Sewa, coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizen, will also join us, help us with the discussion for this morning. You can join the conversation with your WhatsApp messages, and the number is 020-444-7033. 020-444-7033. Join the conversation on the topics we are discussing this morning. Fred, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. It's been a while.
Good morning, my brother. I'm doing well by the grace of God.
With House Parliament.
Pleasure to be here. Parliament is okay. We've been on recess for some time now. The other committees are meeting and all that. I'm on the local government community.
The committee has been sitting.
Yeah, been sitting. For the whole of last week. This week we've been sitting. You know, we are looking at the audit accounts of all the MNDCs across the country. So they've been coming before the committee. It's been very hectic. We sit in the morning and we close very late. Yesterday I left Parliament almost around 10 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's okay. We are on. 7 Mother Ghana.
Let me start with you on this government decision, your government decision to accept some deportees from the United States of America. There are many who have said that this should have gone to Parliament for approval of the House because they quote Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution to the extent that some members in the MPP say they are going to court to seek an interpretation of that.
Well, once again, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to our viewers and the good people of the Republic of Sal, as I unfortunately call them, the Guan constituency, who have given the opportunity to serve them in Parliament. Ghana is a unique country in West Africa, based on the role we played years down the line in trying to assist several countries to become independent institutions. I remember in those days before Ghana obtained independence, Nkrumah stood and made a declaration that Ghana's independence is meaningless unless it really comes to the total liberation of the African continent. That statement is a very heavy statement.
Fred, just a minute. I understand we have some technical challenges. We'll get it fixed then. This is a big issue coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. Let's go on Zoom and speak to Andy Appiah-Dankwa, who happens to be the spokesperson for the Movement for Change, to also take his view on this subject. Andy, good morning. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Hello, Andy. Andy, unmute your Zoom. Mr. Appiah-Dankwa, I'm afraid he's unable to hear us. We'll connect with him and then continue with the conversation. This is the big issue coming to you live from our studio here in Accra on Channel 1 Television and live on City 97.3 FM. We are bringing you the topical issues that dominated media discussion in the course of the week. I'm told Mr. Appiah-Dankwa is back on Zoom. Let's try and see if we can connect to him. Mr. Appiah-Dankwa, good morning. Thank you very much for your time again.
Good morning.
Let me take your view on this decision by government to accept some deportees from the United States of America. There are many who have said that the government is breaching Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution. You agree or you disagree?
Yes, so let me take this opportunity to wish your lovely viewers a good morning. I've listened to all the debates. I think the issues are pretty much clear. The rules, both the Constitution and the decision of the Supreme Court, where government is going to accept non-Ghanaian deportees, like happened with the Gito 3, then there's a need for Parliament to ratify government's what's called action. And then now the issue then is, will this requirement be waived by reason only of the fact that the underlying agreement, as in for want of a better word, governing the arrangement is not a contract per se, but an MOU. Because if you understand the position of the foreign minister, because it's an MOU, then because it's an MOU, then there won't be that need for Parliament to ratify things. I seem to understand where the minister is coming from, and my understanding, what my take from what the minister is saying is simply because usually an MOU sort of governs negotiations, because an MOU is like a letter of intent. I mean, it governs negotiations that would eventually lead to an agreement. The MOU itself doesn't constitute an agreement, and my understanding or what I'm suspecting is that negotiations have not been concluded. They are still probably negotiating on the fine lines, and then once that is done, and once an agreement is done, then they will present it to Parliament. I don't know, that's what I am suspecting.
Okay.
But my only issue there is if we are still at the MOU state and the agreement that will govern Ghana taking over deportees that are not Ghanaians, then why? Then the question is, if the agreement hasn't been concluded, then why are we taking the deportees in the first place?
Okay.
Because taking the deportees is the action that needs to be ratified by Parliament. So I don't disagree with Ghana taking over deportees. I just hope that the strict terms of the law must be followed.
Okay.
And so for me, that will mean that if they are still the MOU states, they should just taking the steps and then present the contract to Parliament for Parliament to
all right.
ratify.
Okay. Andy, just hold on for me. I'll come back to you again shortly. Let me go on to the phone line and speak to Dr. Vladimir Ntwidanso, international relations analyst, to also take his view on this development. Doc, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. Hello, Dr. Vladimir Ntwidanso. Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, Doc. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for your time. There are many. The Minister of Foreign Affairs has said that this decision of government to accept these deportees from the United States of America is purely on humanitarian basis. You agree to that?
Well, it's not a question of agreeing to it or not agreeing to it, but that is what he is saying. In diplomacy, there is nothing like purely humanitarian. Whatever you give, you expect something out. So from where I sit, I know that Ghana is expecting something or has been giving something already. You don't give out and don't get anything in diplomacy. Yes, we may have been guided by humanitarianism. But humanitarianism is when the person or persons you are empathizing with have a problem and they need some assistance, food, water, and whatever it is, and that sort of thing. But here, are these people in any need that we need to be there for them? Yes, perhaps, because they are being thrown away from the U.S. So humanitarian grounds, fine, we may agree. But for me, diplomacy is give and take.
But then what about those who also say that indeed these are people, in need? At least they are West African neighbors. And so if government decides to assist West African neighbors or citizens from West African, countries, it is a way of Ghana showing, support to the cause of ECOWAS.
I have already said that. I've said that, yes, it may be that they are in a certain need because they are being thrown out of the U.S. But then there are several questions. Their own countries have no empathy for them. America has no right to discuss this with ECOWAS, but Ghana has to be that sympathetic and empathetic and bring them to Ghana. I mean, there are questions. I'm not saying it was wrong to be sympathetic and be empathetic towards this situation, but there are questions, more questions than answers.
From where you sit, the minister says this is just an MOU. Can this be an MOU, as the minister is saying, or this is an agreement and must go to Parliament?
He's saying it's an MOU. An MOU is, in international relations, MOUs, treaties, whatever it is, are all agreements. In our definition, everything like that is an agreement. Remember, we did the same thing in 2012. We brought Guantanamo Bay inmates, criminals, again on humanitarian grounds. Then, when the expiration of the MOU or whatever it is was coming to an end at the Akufo-Addo administration time, we were trapped. We wanted to send that years ago, the MOU says so. But then we were told, sorry, you should have by now gotten a third country to take them up. You didn't take them up. You didn't do that. Then we rushed the whole thing to Parliament. It was late. It was ratified, but it was late. So they are now Ghanaian. Isn't that something, a lesson we should have learned? So MOU or whatever it is an international agreement which should have had parliamentary scrutiny.
But many say that comparing the Gitmo 2 to this current situation may be different, because in the Gitmo 2 issue, after the expiration of the period, they remain in Ghana. But these individuals, as the minister mentioned, will go back to their countries. The president said that even the 14 that came in first have all gone back to their countries, Nigeria and Gambia. And so the expectation is that the 40 that is coming in may go back to their country. Are they not two different issues?
Please, no, sir. How different? The point is that we're bringing them in because America says so. So that's equal. We have equalized that. We bring them in if we are going to send them back to their countries or to a third country. The Gitmo 2 had their countries unstable, and that's why we couldn't send them. There was no third country to take them. So it's the same thing again. So if these 14 come and we are unable to send them back to their countries, they stay here just like the Gitmo 2. Just like the Gitmo 2.
But the Trump administration, on assumption of office, had that issue with African countries, including Ghana, visa restrictions and the like. You don't think this is a move to fix the strained relationship between the Trump administration and the government of Ghana?
Well, you have said it. So we are doing this in order that we gain that kind of rate of the relationship, isn't it? So you see, you come back to what I started with, that you don't give anything without taking anything back. But the main point is this, that Africa should learn. We should learn seriously. Why wouldn't America negotiate with the AU, negotiate with ECOWAS, negotiate with ECAS or EAC? But they want to coerce various countries to accept their inadequacy.
So you believe they should deal with the blocks instead of the individual countries?
Exactly. If we are going to send Africans to Rwanda, to Sudan, to Ghana, and to other countries, so that Ghana can send them back to their countries in Africa, why can't this be a kind of MOU with ECOWAS? Or why has Nigeria refused to take their own nationals? Was it difficult for Nigeria, U.S. to negotiate with Nigeria to take their own nationals from the U.S. directly? Was it difficult to do that in Gambia? Why Ghana? And you know what? Let me add this. Migration has been so much securitized, such that we must be very careful. It has security implications and economic implications. And that is why America is sending them out. Why should we be the recipients?
Why has it become a security implication?
It's not a security issue. Migration, generally, everywhere in the world. Because it has security implications. You don't know who is coming in and who is going out, what he is bringing in, what he is taking out. So that is the reason why it has security implications.
The Foreign Affairs Minister makes us understand that they've done background checks on these individuals before accepting them in Ghana.
They may be saints, they may be religious, they may be ministers of the religion. they can come into the country and the hardship will turn them into something else. But if they have done background checks, did America not do background checks? And why are they being sent out of America? The fact that they entered America illegally shows that they are criminals, if that is the case, that they entered illegally. So why would they legally enter Ghana?
So could it be that we are bringing in criminals into the Ghanaian setup?
You are misinterpreting everything I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that could it be? I'm just asking, Doc. Could it be?
It could. It could be. Because the question we need to start with is, why is America rejecting such fine persons, such fine West African nationals? Why are they being rejected? And if they are being rejected, aren't there any place in America where they can be confined? Why Ghana? So there are several questions. I'm not against Ghana entering into any serious relationship with any country and helping individuals, West African nationals, as we are saying, from their predicament. But then we must be very careful not to repeat the problems we had in 2012. You know, they may have links in their countries, they may have links with other criminals elsewhere, who knows?
Finally, before I let you go, what would be the implication for Ghana if we had decided to reject these deportees?
Nothing, no implication. America will be angry, and that is it. In diplomacy, anger is part of the work of diplomacy. Nothing would have happened to Ghana. Nothing, absolutely nothing. After all, there are countries, some of them rejected them. Venezuela rejected direct things. And Ghana has done it before. I remember very well that I think in 2012 or 2013, our ambassador did something which I praised very much. Our ambassador in the U.S. We were told that some 100 and something Ghanaians were going to be deported and Ghana must come for them. Our ambassador rejected them and said that you should have negotiated with me for me to know whether they are actually Ghanaians. But for you to just call me and ask us to come for our national is not correct in diplomacy. Our ambassador was stubborn. America was angry. They were even asking for our ambassador to be recalled. Ghana did it. What happened? Nothing happened. You know, in diplomacy, what you give is what you take. So if somebody is playing the bluff, you play the bluff. Nothing would have happened to Ghana if we hadn't received them.
Look, I say a big thank you for your time. Thank you very much. Dr. Vladimir Ichidaso is an international relations analyst speaking to us on government's decision to accept some deportees from the United States of America. Fred, I come back to you. Now, your government has come under fire, under intense fire, for this singular decision just to accept some deportees in the country.
Well, I think I have to start all over again. Viewers, people of the constituency. You know, very sad. It's been a while. I have listened to a well-respected Professor Echidanso on this particular issue. I listened to lawyer Apia Dankwa as well. And I don't think that they are wrong with the position that they've taken on the subject. And we can go back to, for the benefit of our viewers, and look at the constitutional provision, Article 75 that you make reference to, that the President may execute or cause to be executed treaties, agreements, or conventions in the name of Ghana.
Yeah.
Then 75(2), a treaty, agreement, or convention executed by or under the authority of the President shall be subject to ratification by A, Act of Parliament, or B, a resolution of Parliament supported by the votes of more than 1/2 of all the members of Parliament. So it is very, very explicit, it's very clear, in a very simple language. There are a few questions that I am still thinking about that are bothering me. One, why is it not the case that America is repatriating these people directly into their home countries? Why must they come to Ghana first before they go to their countries? You know, if they are from Nigeria, if they are from Cote d'Ivoire, if they are from Mali, our neighbors, West Africa. Why is it not possible for America to take them directly to their own countries? Why must they route them through our country? 2, I heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs saying that currently just an MOU that they have signed with the Americans, and that they are now looking at the law properly to have some form of agreement. If it's not an emergency, why didn't we wait, finish all those arrangements, go through Parliament's ratification before moving the people? Because for me, where we sit now, repatriating these people, it's not as if it's an emergency that if we don't do it today or tomorrow, anybody will die.
You don't think there was pressure on government? The Trump administration was putting pressure on government?
Yes, but if you're putting pressure on government, we must do the right thing. And as a nation, we will not succumb to Americans' pressure and do something that is unlawful. You understand? That's the point I'm making. America cannot put pressure on us to accept other nationals, in violation of our constitution or our laws. It is Ghanaians we are repatriating to this country. We don't need any parliamentary ratification to accept our own citizens back into our country. So once we are bringing them back, we accept them wholeheartedly and we integrate them back into our society. But if you are bringing other nationals into our country, when their home nations are there and you are not taking them there directly, then we cannot work under your terms. We cannot work under your terms. Because Nigeria is there, Togo is there, Cote d'Ivoire is there. And you can enter whatever agreement you want to enter with the leadership of those countries and send the people there directly. But for whatever reason, either they've ignored you, either they are not paying attention, either they have said, no, don't bring our people back. And then you want to use Ghana as a conduit. You must not do that at a disadvantage to our rules and our constitution. And so my argument is that, what is the urgency? Why the speed? Why didn't we just wait and then get all these agreements probably, ironed out, and then if you have to go to the Parliament as per this particular Act 75 provision, do so before we allow the people to come into the country. Maybe, just maybe, if you have that, all this controversy that we have now that we are discussing would have been avoided. And so for me, I agree that, as I said from the very beginning, Ghana is quite a unique country in West Africa, based on the role that we play in time past when it comes to even the attainment of independence of several other countries. And I was making reference to the declaration that Nkrumah made, that Ghana's independence is meaningless unless it's linked up to the total liberation of the African continent. And so, from the word go, we have positioned ourselves to play that brotherly role, to play that fatherly role, to be the one to help others to do it. And we know the history very well. Nations, we have to support the races and what have you. And so, it is not out of place when we receive these persons into our country. But the point I'm making is that we must do it referencing our laws in its proper usage. It must not be under any form of pressure or coercion by anybody. Some of these things, really, I wake up in the morning and I get worried about these things. Are these things not avoidable? Should we use time, energy, airtime discussing things like this when we could have avoided them? I heard the minister who said, listen, he didn't just on his own to the decision to bring the people down. That the issue went to cabinet, it was discussed at cabinet level, and based on the advice of the Attorney General, government decided to go ahead, based on the MOU, to bring the people down. I have had other experts, lawyers and what have you, who have said, yes, they think that the position of the advice that was given by the Attorney General is not in sync with the provision of the Constitution. I don't know if you have spoken to the Attorney General independently. I haven't had the opportunity of speaking to him independently to know why he prefers this particular advice, looking at the wording of Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution. And so, well, I believe, unless, of course, the argument could also be that Parliament is in recess as we speak now, we are on recess, we are not sitting. And so, is it the case that you want to call everybody back for us to sit and get this ratification done before you bring the people back? Or was that the reason why they decided that, okay, just based on the MOU, let's proceed, so that when finally we have signed an agreement with America and the Parliament is back in session, then we can present present it for ratification. I don't know what went into the thinking, but as I said, to the extent that this person that they are repatriating, as of now, we haven't been told that they are involved in any criminal activities or they are deporting into our country. They are not, we've not been told of any criminal thing around them that they are criminals or they've done anything wrong. My understanding is that they don't have maybe legal documents to stay in America and that's why they are deporting them back into their home countries. It cannot be an issue of emergency, right? America has a way of detaining all these people, keeping them for some time now, make sure that all the agreements are properly fashioned out before you bring them down. Okay. And Professor asked a question that is very, very legitimate. If you are bringing these people to West Africa, they are not necessarily just Ghanaian citizens. Then it would have been proper that even route it through ECOWAS,
the regional blocks,
the regional bloc, so that the regional bloc was accepted, okay, for whatever reason, let us dedicate one country so that they come to that country. When they get to that country, then we can send them back to their various countries. You know, these deportations and people who travel abroad and they come back, it has a huge advantage if we are able to position ourselves well and do things well. These persons, majority of them have expertise that we can leverage on and get our countries running. You know, they might have gone out there to learn some new things. They might have returned with some new technology, some new ideas of how to go about it. So, in itself, it may not be a wrong thing, if they are back. And as the Honorable Minister said, there are Ghanaians too that have been deported. Yeah. It is not as though it's only other foreign nationals that they've brought to account. Ghanaians too are part of it. And nobody is talking and complaining about it because they are Ghanaians. And as I said, we need to quickly also psych them up, integrate them well in the society, so that whatever experience they might have gained over this period that has been in America, they can bring that to bear on our developmental journey that we are on. Let me conclude by saying that for me, where we are now, there are several things that are confronting us that we want to quickly face. We don't have all the time to waste on things like this. Let us do what a lot of people believe to be true or to be correct, and what the constitution is correct. Once we get it done, I don't think we have to waste energy and time coming to discuss things like this. If it is true, as I've read, Paragraph 75, that all SAR treaties and the rest. And again, the ruling by the Supreme Court in the Gitmo issue. I think that this issue, all these arguments were made in court, and the rulings are very, very clear about it. That even if it's an MOU, it's a treaty, whatever it is, all must get parliamentary ratification. And so we should just get it done so that all of us can return back to normal work and think about how we can use a big push to fix our roads and build schools and build hospitals, get employment for the young people.
Right,
so
thank you.
This one doesn't become a distraction.
Sure, thank you. Thank you for those initial comments. Fred Agbonyo is a member of Parliament for the Guan constituency. Let me also introduce Nana Asafweje. He's a member of Parliament for the Bosomo constituency in the Ashanti region. Nana, thank you very much for it. He's also the minority ranking, or he's the deputy ranking on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament. Now, there's a belief that the government has breached Article 75 of the Constitution. Your side, you issue a statement signed by your ranking, Abu Jinapo, who says that this should have come to Parliament. Your friend and your former boss, Nana B, has also said he's going to court to seek an interpretation on this matter. You think government has breached the Constitution?
Let me thank you first and foremost, and greet your viewers. And then my good friend, my very good friend and brother. He's a senior brother. But you see, in fact, from the angle he took, I mean, one would say that he has disarmed you and made the whole conversation a bit, I mean, forward-looking. I'm happy he didn't put up a defensive posture. Because my point is simple. If the NDC brings this to Parliament, they have the overwhelming numbers. They don't need us. In fact, they don't need us to work on this matter. They don't. Now, so one will ask that, and don't forget that this same government has a history. And if for nothing at all, that this government must reflect back to history. Because it was during that time that all these profound landmark rulings were made. So for one will ask, why is the minority so much worked out? Because it is not as if you can influence it. Or we are not talking because we want to do something untoward, or we want to distract government, or we want to frustrate government. No. We are only doing it for posterity. We are doing it for the good people of this country. And we are doing it so that in future, nobody would hide under any form or shape, or whether love letter, whether any form to bind or to put an obligation on this country and not resort to what the Constitution has asked us to do. So I don't even know, like Fred said, I don't know why we are even here. And I don't know why we are even making this. But you see, now the matter is becoming much more intense because of the posturing of the minister. For you to tell us that it does not need to go to Parliament because it's an MOU, that is where I disagree with you. For you to tell us that you came to meet several MOUs in your office, so this one too can be one of the MOUs you came to meet, it's problematic. Because maybe you met MOUs, people were not interested in the MOU, so it's like you are caught stealing, and then you say, oh, Senior Fred has been stealing, nobody said anything, so why am I?
For purposes of education, what's the difference between the MOU, the agreement, and then the treaties, the conventions, and the agreements?
No, unless the minister explained to me. But you see, let me read this. Let me read this. And I'm referencing the ruling. I want to read something profound. The judgment on this one is not the Margaret Banfo and Anabi. Because if I go to Margaret Banfo and Anabi, it appears as though they are aligned to me. That's why I want to go there. I'm reading the Broja Jemfi versus the Attorney General ruling, where it had to do with the military base issue. Now, when you go to page 11 of the ruling, profound, and I'm reading so that we all take, some clues and lessons. It says that the Constitution makes no mention of any formal distinctions that are dependent on the formality with which such an instrument is formatted or brought into being. From the aforementioned principles of constitutional interpretation in Ghana, there is no doubt that where, by various forms or documentation, the government of Ghana binds the Republic of Ghana to certain obligations in relation to another company or group of another country or group of countries, an international agreement comes into existence. This is the ruling, page 11. Now, taking into account the substance of Exhibit A, and there is no doubt that despite the form in which has been drafted or the content couch, it is intended to create an obligation on the part of Ghana to the US, where inter alia Ghana binds itself to receive and resettle the said two persons into the country. So it has no shape or form. It doesn't matter how it is couched. So far as there is an obligation on the country, the deportees you are receiving, who will give them food? Where will they sleep? Whose money? So it's an obligation on us. So far as the government is binding us into such obligation, the good people of Ghana, your tax, my tax, his tax, it is important that this Article 75 comes into being. And you can go to the ruling of Joyce Banfo, Nanabi, and Attorney General. Similar. The underlining point here is when there is an obligation on the good people of Ghana. So for me, if you tell me this is the Attorney General's advice, and when this matter, Joyce Banfo, Nanabi, Attorney General, it was the same Attorney General who was the Deputy AG then. So I am surprised the kind of advice I am. So that is why, and you see, the reason why Parliament is involved and the good people, the framers of the Constitution mentioned Parliament is that when this document is brought to Parliament, Fred, myself, we will have the opportunity to sit down and look at it, discuss it, look at the pros and cons, look at questions that we want to ask. So these people, when you are bringing them, what are you going to do to them? We would have the benefit of everything in there, then we will advise. then so when we ratify, it means that the entire Ghanaians have accepted that let these people come, or host these people, or feed these people. For now, we have not. So when you commit the resources of Ghana, when you commit anything Ghana to them, somebody in future can take you on. Because the obligation that was on the people didn't accept this obligation. And he didn't say you solely, as minister, as president, go and do this. He says, let the people. That is why it is referencing the Constitution. Article 70. That is why he says Parliament. Because that is the representation of the people. Look, if we don't take care, tomorrow, even the same people that we are hosting, the deportees we are taking, they can take us on. Because I have very good information, and I'm just taking time. Because the places where they are keeping them, whatever is going on there, tomorrow, if we don't take that, the people will come and file human rights charges against us as a country. And it is deadly, it is dangerous. That is why the government must tread cautiously with this matter. And for me, like Fred said, what is so important about this one? Trump has taken a decision.
No, there's pressure. There's pressure
from who?
From the Trump administration.
But the minister told us there's no pressure.
Why might the pressure be on?
Minister told us there's no pressure. People are even alluding to the fact that because of the recent, relationship between us,
two countries, yeah.
visa, we've cut it down. We are not giving you this. We are not doing this. Because of that is why you are being forced to take that. The minister disagreed. So when you tell me pressure, I am confused. I'm lost. When you tell me, the minister again told us that they didn't take a cent. They didn't receive it. It means that, for me, when I listen to the wording and the statement, it means that something was offered and we didn't take it. What was offered? So please, I think that is why the framers of the Constitution are saying that, look, come to Parliament. Let Parliament look at it. Look, the Foreign Affairs Committee, when this matter comes to Parliament, they will make reference to the Foreign Affairs Committee. We are about 20-something. The NDC on the Foreign Affairs Committee are almost 15 or 17. The MPP is only 5.
On the committee.
On the committee. So, what is the point? Why? You see, when you do this...
Could it also be that because Parliament is on recess,
No.
they want to do this when Parliament comes on?
No, that is not an excuse. That can never be an excuse. That can never be an excuse. So please, for me, this was going to be my second matter or second issue. Because these are other nationals. We have issues that is regarding our nationals, that we are not even clear what is it that we are doing and how we are treating our nationals. That is what I believe we should be interested in and be looking at. And that is where the minister must be it must be his headache. That is what must be the government's headache. Because the people I met over the week in Vunduru,
yeah,
they are,
I was just about to
yes, they are Ghanaians. They are his countrymen. They are his tribesmen, his people. And if for nothing at all, that is where he should be so much interested in. That is where the energy should be. Because what would our president, how will he look when you are dealing with Burkina Faso's issue, when you are dealing with Malian issue, when you want to see yourself as the champion or the leader of Africa, stand as such, and your backyard, you have some displacement which is giving you bad press. I think that they must commit themselves in making sure that these matters at the Northern Savannah area and the Boli area must be resolved. That is what is important. As again, that is why people are questioning that what is in this deportees matter, that you want to give government some bad press about this deportees matter. That is why we need to know. It must come to Parliament for us to know what is it that...
You believe there's something government is not telling us? Aside the explanation given by the foreign minister.
It is not for me to believe. It is not for me to believe. I don't know what to believe. But you see, I am putting bits and pieces of the whole issue together. Like I asked you, if it was a hung Parliament and you are trying to dodge Parliament, people will feel that, yeah, you are doing it because there's a probability that you may not have the support you are looking for in Parliament. That's why you are trying to dodge Parliament. That's not the case. You pride yourself that you have overwhelming majority. It's not. You have more than 2/3. That even if the entire minority decide to walk out, even if the entire minority decide not to even come to Parliament on that day, you are comfortable. So I am not to believe. I am just to assume, think around and ask. You see, Ghana is not a monologue state or a monolith state where US is. So Trump signs an agreement with you and it becomes law. No, Ghana, when you sign the agreement, it must come to Parliament for ratification before it becomes. That is why some of these things are important. That is why some of these things are critical. So please, for me, I can tell you that, like you said, I know Nanabi, the national organizer of the MPP, and his colleague, Margaret Banfo, again has signaled or indicated to their lawyers to petition on this matter. Their lawyers, Bafo, who are MP for Asia, and then Lenny Nigeria, another young, sharp, brilliant chap, to pursue this case to its logical conclusion, so that we know. I mean, we can now come to terms and be clear on our minds. If the law, if the judges rule that now it can come in some forms. In some forms, it doesn't need Parliament. In some forms, it needs Parliament. The President will be there for all of us to follow.
Okay.
It is important. What they are doing is important for us.
Okay.
If they go, and the judges affirms this matter, then we are clear in our mind that in future, no government, you cannot do anything with any country without coming to Parliament.
Okay.
But if they give us some caveat, then it means that we would ride on the caveat in future.
Okay.
That is clear.
Fred, I'll let you have your final bite on it, but let me go back to Zoom and get final comment on this matter from Andy Appiah. Andy Appiah down. I'm told Andy is not on the line. We'll get his final bite on this matter. But then before that, Fred, you want to have a final bite on this? You believe government should, as a matter of urgency, seize the coming of the 40, get Parliament to rectify it before they come in?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know where government has gotten to with that particular arrangement. I don't know what agreement has been entered into with the American government and where the people are and the day they are expected to depart and arrive in Ghana. And so to call at this point that we should hold that movement, I don't know how it will look like.
Okay.
But my point is that we are a sovereign nation. And we have laws that regulate and guide our activities. At all material times, we must be deliberate in making sure that we don't infringe on those laws. We don't do anything that will create unnecessary controversy. For me, I am all out for it, regardless of who is doing it or which party is doing it. I am a Ghanaian first and foremost. It's my party that is in power. It's incumbent on me as a people's representative that I make sure that my government also will do the right thing. The provision I've read in the Constitution doesn't tell me that this particular MOU, as we are told, should not come to Parliament for ratification. The ruling per the Gitmo 2 ruling and all the rulings that the various and the judges who sat on the case, or the judges who sat on the case, gave on the subject, doesn't tell me from where I as a layman that this issue should not go to Parliament for ratification. And I have questioned, and I'll continue to question, why are we in a hurry to do this? And again, why should Nigerians come to Ghana before they go to their country? Why should people from Cote d'Ivoire come to Ghana before they go to their country? Why is America not taking them to their countries directly and bring Ghanaians here directly? For me, that is the crux of the issue. We are West Africans. We all have flights that travel to and fro this America. So Trump should sit down with them and talk to them and let's go to their country directly. We have no business bringing them here, and this becomes an issue for us to discuss. I believe that now that it has become a national issue, what is talking about it, the sector minister, I believe, will get back to cabinet, sit down with the Attorney General. If there's anything that we can do immediately about this issue to put it to rest, I believe we have a listening government, a listening president, and everybody is monitoring what the Ghanaian public is saying. I am not one of the people who is against people going to court to go and test our laws. We are building a governance system. We are building a democracy. And the only way is when we have tested all these laws and precedents have been set that we can leverage on as we move on. And so if any Ghanaian out there thinks that in his view the constitution has been infringed upon, and so therefore he wants to go to the Supreme Court for some understanding or clarity, why will I stop the person from going? Because my thinking is that the Gitmos 2 ruling would have been a good precedent on this particular subject area. That wouldn't have been where we are today. But like the minister said, this is an MOU, this is not a final agreement. If we have a lawyer, you can help us. I don't know if MOUs to are binding. Yes, they are binding. They can be taken to court. Is that not correct? You know, whatever that is, it's an agreement between parties, an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. It's an agreement between parties that we are going to do A, B, C, D. These are the terms and the conditions. We have agreed to proceed on that. And so nobody can unilaterally decide to infringe on an MOU without, you know, repercussions. There are always, you know, clauses in the MOU that says that even if you don't want it to be binding again, you do A, B, C, D, you know, exit and
clauses and all that.
Clauses are always in the MOU. So my plea to the sector minister, Foreign Affairs and Attorney General and everybody, let's get back, look at this particular issue. If upon a second thought and listening to the Ghanaian public, they also think that yes, ratifying this thing by Parliament will be the best thing to have been done. Let's quickly get that done, get it off the way. Like you rightly said, we have a super majority in Parliament. These things are not things that, if all of us are convinced that it puts no burden on this country, it has no future repercussions on our country, a sovereign country, why not? All of us will support it. But it is good that as citizens, we interrogate these things properly, because nobody wants to, in quote, look stupid. That we all sit back, we watch, this thing goes through, 5-10 years down the line, somebody now comes to see you, Ghana, then people will come on radio and TV and say, but all of you were part of it, you all sat back and watch it, why didn't you raise concern? I don't think any of us want to be in that situation. And that is why it is fair that we call on the sector minister and the people who are involved to make sure that at least the right thing has been done, everybody has his own piece, and then we move on. Let me conclude by saying that where we are now, especially as a government, as a people, we have very clear focus on as to where we are going to, and that is what should occupy our minds and everything. Anything that will be a distraction, let's try as much as possible to make sure that we get it off the line and remain focused on delivering the good governance that we promise and the development that we promise the people of this country.
Let me go back to Zoom. I'm told Andy Apia Dankwa is back to also get his final take on this matter. Andy, thank you very much for your time. You are a lawyer. Do you think government should hold on with the coming in of the 40, get Parliament to rectify this agreement before allowing this 40 to come in?
Andy, why did you come to the studio? What are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely, because as it stands now, what is the legal basis for government accepting what's called the deportees, as in from the deportees who are not Ghanaians? There must be a legal basis for that. Now, is the legal basis the MOU? Now, if the legal basis is the MOU, then it must be ratified. Because you see, generally, MOUs are not meant to be binding. Except to say that, like, as Aboje said, you see, the focus is on the substance as against the form. So the fact that you term a document an MOU does not necessarily make it an MOU. Under Ghana law, will go into the substance of the document and see if it creates obligation. Now, if the MOU the minister is alluding to creates obligation, then you need parliamentary approval or ratification. So for me, yes, I feel that as things stands now, there's no legal basis for accepting the deportees from other nationals, and in furtherance of our agenda to entrench the rule of law, it is necessary that the clear terms of our constitution, the clear terms of judicial precedents are followed. Yes, so in my opinion, if you hold on to accepting the deportees and go to Parliament, get a ratification, and then they can go ahead with their humanitarian activities as well. But under no circumstance should we compromise the clear terms of our constitution, of our law for anything, not even for the US.
Thank you. I'll come back to you again. Nana?
Yeah.
So the argument has also been made that indeed Ghana is seen to be a shining star when it comes to West Africa. And so we are doing this to project the image of the country.
You see, as for Ghana being a shining star or stand, I don't have a problem. That is not in question or in contention. That is not what we are discussing, or that is not what we are looking at. We are looking at the country doing the right things. We are looking at the country setting good examples and precedents. Because tomorrow, during the Gitmo time, or the last time we were discussing this, I was not a member of parliament. I was not even close. Today, I am a member of parliament. Tomorrow, I will not be a member of parliament. Somebody else, the young ones are coming. They are picking and learning from what is happening. So, I am saying that I have read both cases that pertain to this matter. And for me, the underlying principle in all the rulings are whether there is an obligation to the good people of Ghana. It is not about shape, it is not about form, it's not about how you call it nomenclature or how it was couched. But it is whether or not it poses an obligation to the good people of Ghana. And that is why the Constitution is saying that you must go through this portion. And the Supreme Court rulings are well established on these matters. So I think and I believe that we must be clear on these matters so that in future we will not come and be hiding under, names, hiding under, forms. So I can tell you that, this is not an agreement, this is a love letter between myself and another president, also Ghana and another president. This is the point we are.
In terms of Ghana's international image, does it have any effect?
You see, I sincerely feel that the impression it is creating is like, why is Ghana accepting to take all these people? Why are other countries rejecting them? So it's like somebody takes a decision in his country, people are hitting back and pushing back at those decisions in their country, and you decide to absorb them as a residue or as a buffer or as what? That is the issue. So people are raising questions of sovereignty. People are raising questions of sovereignty. And it's important we look at those areas too. Because a president won't take a decision in his country, implement those decisions, and the residue of the decisions is what they dump on you. That is important, you must look at. How is it looking? That the president decided that I am sacking immigrants from my country. The immigrants are pushing back from their various countries. But one country in Africa decides that I am taking them. So when we sack you, when we deport you to your country and you decide not to go, Ghana will take you, then they bring you to Ghana.
You are told the majority of these folks are Nigerians. Do you think there will be a diplomatic train between Ghana and Nigeria?
Well, when we come to that bridge, we'll cross it. When we come to that bridge, we'll cross it. But if you notice, Nigeria itself has refused that.
Yeah.
I have information to the fact that about 2019, 2020, we had a whooping number of Ghanaians that the US wanted to deport. And our mission there fought back. We rejected it. We didn't do it. And back fought. It didn't happen. I believe some of these people are still in the United States. The citizens or the individuals that are being deported, sometimes they get good lawyers, fight their cases for them, and they get integrated back into the system. So for you to easily admit that you are bringing them, sometimes they are not happy. And that's why I'm saying that let us be careful. In future, some of these people may raise humanitarian cases, legal cases against us. I am very much aware where they are residing. They are not in any hotel. I am very much aware. And some of these places that they are, some of them can raise legal issues against the country. That is why it is important we do the right thing, so that these people don't come back to us on genuine issues. on humanitarian issues, the same humanitarian basis that we are using to accept them, the same humanitarian basis will be one of the bases they will come after us.
You led a team of minority MPs to, in quotes, Ghanaian refugees. Why did you decide to embark on this?
So when the whole Savannah issue came up, we've been monitoring closely, following. I mean, reports from various angles have come out. We noticed that some reports mention about 50,000 people leaving that area, with some of the people coming down south, Techiman, Wenchi, Kranza, and all those places. Some going up north, Burkina and the rest. Some going to Côte d'Ivoire. So we've been following issues. Now, let us also state on record that this matter largely is a national security matter. National security matter, which is supposed to be dealt with by the national security minister of our country. And that, by extension, is Honorable Mutaka. The only place that the foreign ministry is coming in is when the people cross the border to another country.
The minister was in Ivory Coast.
I am building a case. Okay. The only state when the minister comes into the matter is when they cross to another country. Even in that stance, the Ivorian government is dealing with the national security architecture of our country. So issues about displacement, the conflict and all those things, they are security matters. All the intelligence that they pick, the intelligence goes to the security architecture of this country. So if for nothing at all, it is the security minister of this country, by extension, Honorable Mutaka, who is supposed to be making pronouncements on some of these things. Key among them is the numbers in this matter. Because he even formed the committees to look into this matter. And I believe reports are given to him directly. So we were happy to see our minister going to Côte d'Ivoire to see our displaced Ghanaians. We were happy. But we got a bit concerned and worried when the minister churned out figures and numbers that, according to the report, 13,000 people came to Côte d'Ivoire. And here in this camp, Vunguro camp here, there are 5,000 people. Yes, I've come, there are 5,000 people here. Meaning that 8,000 of them are gone back. So the minority was concerned. So if 13,000 people fled, get into Côte d'Ivoire, records are taken of them, the international bodies are all aware, and 8,000 goes, then why are the 5,000 still there? What are they doing there? What is the issue? Why don't they want to go? Who received the 8,000? When did the 8,000 leave Côte d'Ivoire to Ghana? Who integrated them into Ghana? Then, not long ago, the minister for Savannah came to also speak to the media. And the minister alluded to the fact that, no, there are difficulties. The people in other places are scared. They are not so, they don't even trust that when they come back into the system, they are safe. Their security is assured. The minister was also on record. Then we chanced on a joint committee report from, let me mention the organization, from the United Nations Commissioner of Refugees, International Organization for Migration, IOM, World Food Programme, World Health Organization, Food and Agriculture Organization, World Vision, Catholic Relief Services, the Ivorian government, NADMO, and some security agencies. These people came out with a report. And inherent in the report was conflicting the minister's report and numbers. So the minority decided that, well, it is important we establish some of these facts. It is important we also go there on a humanitarian grounds, also show some solidarity to our brothers, and ascertain the issues on the ground. Then we can make some conclusion and decide on the next line of action. Indeed, we went there. Now, they have, and the report is clear, even the report mentioned that the 13,000 that fled to Côte d'Ivoire settled in 16 communities in Côte d'Ivoire. Out of the 16 communities, Vongoro received the highest and the largest of the numbers, which is about 5,300. The rest, some communities take 500, some communities take 1,000, some communities take 200. And the people moved like they are moving in their various settlement tribes. So this group of people would go to this side, this group of people would go to this side. So that is how they settled. So if you go to Vongoro and you see the 5,000 and you don't go to Dagbekura, you don't go to Gotogbo, you don't go to Tochemekura, you don't go to Masintin, you don't go to all the 16 communities.
All these communities in Ivory Coast?
In Ivory Coast. Receiving or hosting Ghanaian displaced citizens. And you come to tell the whole country that the 13,000 that went to Cote d'Ivoire, 8,000 have come back because you only went to Vongoro. That is misleading. And that creates an impression that, oh, the matter is even, it's a foregone conclusion, people are returning back, so let us loosen our guards. For us, it is key and critical. It also brings to fact that now when people are extending help and assistance and humanitarian support to these people, they would forget all the other people in the 16 communities and only deal with one people or one group of people, and it will affect them. And they said it, they told us that even when people come to Vongoro and they donate to us, our leaders distribute it to these other communities. The minister for Buna region told us, and he indeed admitted that they visit all of them. So we were like, I mean, was there a consultation between the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister for National Security or the Interior Minister? And they agreed on those figures because the people were clear. They said that if I go to Ghana today or the areas that there are conflict and I sleep, what is the assurance that in the night somebody will not come and attack me? They also mentioned that there has been some ministerial committee, I mean the dispute resolution committee that was formed. Until now, they have not heard from them. So it is important they hear from those committees, and we know what the committee is also doing. And it's also key and critical that they want to hear from the authorities that be. And they mentioned specifically Yagbongra, that he is the custodian of the land. If he should come out and tell them and assure them that, hey, nothing will happen to you, we are okay, no problem, they are comfortable to come. If the President of the Republic is able to give them that word, they are comfortable to come.
Until then,
they are scared. It's the video, the audios are there. It's not me saying. Until then, they are scared. So these were some of the reasons why we felt that as members of the committee, it is important we go and look at this issue. And the people told us that after the issue that about 8,000 of them are gone, I mean, nobody takes them serious. It appears as though things are done. And they were asking us, so if people are going, why are we still here? It appears that we are comfortable. So we had some few questions that needed to be corrected or needed to be ascertained, and that is why the minority went. And again, we went to do some donation to them. The leadership of the minority, the leadership of the party, and Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, I mean, put together some support. And we gave them 2 million CFA as our support to them. And I will also urge Ghanaians that if it becomes, I mean, conducive for you and you want to help them, you should look at helping the kids and the women, because it is difficult to even get sanitaries. I mean, you know, women and some of these things. So it is important we look into that.
So you did this on humanitarian grounds?
One humanitarian and then fact-finding issues too. It is important we know that.
Thank you. You're still watching The Big Issue, coming to you live from our studio here on Channel 1 Television, also live on City 97.3 FM. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation.
Hey, the stage is set. Ghana, are you ready? From the 23rd to 28th September, the National Theatre comes alive again with the Ghana Theatre Festival 2025 under the theme showcasing the rich diversity of Ghanaian culture through the performing arts. Kicking off in grand style on Tuesday, September 23rd is an opening ceremony. The week-long festival will feature performances from the resident companies of the National Theatre, School of Performing Arts, University of Ghana, and various senior high schools. Be part of a symposium to discuss the impact of taxation on the fortunes of the arts industry. Let us enjoy the captivating GR People by Efo Kojo Maugbe. And oh yes, the hilarious Run for Your Wife by Image Bureau and April Communications on Saturday and Sunday respectively. There will be loads of networking opportunities, 6 days of drama, dance, music, masterclasses, and many more. Dial *714*39# to purchase tickets for selected performances or visit www.nationaltheatre.gov.gh. You can also call 050-147-6357 or 0244-830-963 for further inquiries. Ghana Theatre Festival, a celebration of heritage.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244-644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Our media landscape is at a turning point. The intersection of policy and technology demands a new roadmap. Join us for a landmark forum broadcasting at the crossroads, shaping Ghana's electronic media future. Theme: aligning policy, technology, and global best practices. We are bringing together the brightest minds to build a stronger, more resilient future for Ghana's electronic media. Register now at africamediabureau.com or call 0503-332-375. Secure your spot to shape what's next. A forum by Africa's Media Bureau, supported by the Ministry of Communication and Digital Technology. Media partners, Channel 1 TV and City 97.3 FM.
The City Business Olympics is back! It's all about team building, networking, and staying healthy. Which game will your company participate in this year? Is it 7-a-side football, volleyball, swimming, basketball, or sack race? Rally your teammates and get ready for action. Date: Saturday, September 27, 2025. Time: 8 a.m. Venue: Eden Heights Sports Complex. Call 0558-973-973 to register your company today. Let's keep fit, grow connections, and enjoy a day full of energy and excitement. The City Business Olympics 2025 is powered by City FM and Channel 1 TV in partnership with Side Hustle, and it's proudly sponsored by UMB Bank and supported by Bethel Logistics and Dampon Healthcare.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Issue, coming to you live from our studio here on Channel 1 Television, also live on City 97.3 FM. Issues we're discussing this morning: the government decision to accept some deportees from the United States of America. President announced that 40 people are already in the country. We are told by the Minister of Foreign Affairs that 40 are on their way into this country, and also the issue of Galamsey, which will be our next topic for discussion. A few of your WhatsApp messages, you can also join the conversation and send a WhatsApp through this number 020-444-7033, 020-444-7033. Jones Adoboyinla says, Sammy, how can we say we are the gateway to Africa when we don't want to receive our brothers from other countries? Ghana is a shining example, and the president has done what is right. Citizen Francis says, the government's decision to accept these deportees from the U.S. under the guise of humanitarianism is questionable. This issue should have gone to Parliament. They have breached the constitution of this country. Sammy, I'm surprised Fred is disagreeing with his own government. This is the kind of politician we want. They put the country first, not party. Justice in Obuase says, great conversation, Sammy. I like the conversation so far. But tell Nana that this is just an MOU, and MOUs do not have legal binding. We'll get lawyers to explain this to us. So you can also join the conversation. 020-444-7033. Fred, you wanted to have a bite on the last submission of Nana?
Well, let me commend the Nana and his team that visited Cote d'Ivoire to go and see Ghanaians who are living there. Wherever any Ghanaian lives on the planet Earth is a Ghanaian, and as the people have a responsibility to that person to see to it that at least his welfare needs are attended to, and they are living a good life and they are living in dignity. I have always made a call, especially people with officialdom, that anytime we travel abroad, we should endeavor to meet the Ghanaian community that lives there, interact with them, let them appreciate the happenings back home from official sources, and also take some feedback from them. It will help us even in the formulation of our policies and our programs, and reassure them of all the things that we are doing, and if necessary, encourage them to return back home to come and support us. And so to that extent, I sincerely want to commend them. As you said in your introduction, Ghana has become one nation that almost everybody is looking up to when it comes to peace and how far we have come from democracy and our governance system. And so anything that tends to dent that reputation, that image, becomes very, very, very problematic. Anybody who knows the area we are describing, the Gonja part of the Gonja area where this conflict erupted, these are people who we are told have lived together for only God knows how long, over hundreds of years, and they have lived peacefully. And like the president said when he addressed when he met the press, the immediate cause of the conflict was just based on a very small piece of land. Of course, if that narrative is put out there, the first thing that comes to mind is that there is a remote cause to all this issue, and why, because of that piece of land, we should have the level of conflict that we had, that thousands of people have to flee their properties and flee their homes, and suddenly became refugees in other countries. I know that the Minister of Interior, who doubles as the Minister of National Security, himself has been there, to find out how the people are living over there. And they came back. Nana's words against his words. Minister said about 13,000 people went to Cote d'Ivoire, and a number of them are back in Ghana. The president told us again about the work that they are doing behind the scenes. These are not things that necessarily them has been the public view as to the negotiations that are taking place, and what the king in that area, the role that he's playing. The people themselves have raised concerns and have sought for some assurance, that even as they are asking them to return back to their communities, can they guarantee some peace, that when they get back, nobody will come and pounce on them, nobody will come and attack them. What I know so far is that they are deploying a number of security people into the area. But I said one platform that it will not be enough for us to have the security personnel in the communities, because these people are largely farmers. And so they wake up in the morning and go into their farms. How sure are we that when they get to their farms, nobody will go and attack them on their farms? Once we give them that guarantee that the state is able to come in, and other factions are also ready to allow peace to lead, I'm sure they want to return home. Naturally, when this is happening, I recall in the early 90s when Liberia had their own issues, and most of them came into this country. We created a place around Kasoi called Budumbura, where we put them as a camp, where most of them, lived. But the reality is that not everybody who lived in that camp. Other people, those who have resources, rented on their own. People moved to other parts of the country. So there is no way we would expect that all the people who move from this place enter Cote d'Ivoire and they are all domiciled in one community. That is not possible. Definitely, they will move to adjoining communities and move to other areas. For some time now, we are not doing badly when it comes to, data collection, conduction of census to those number of people who live in this country. And so it is easy for us to tell that when you go to Savannah, these are the total number of people who live in Savannah, and then the Binihiri area to the total number of people who live in that particular area. So we can then, per that data, tell that these are the exact number of people who went into Cote d'Ivoire. These are the exact number of people who went to maybe Techiman, wherever they are. And so when they are returning back home to, we should be able to use data to tell the total number of people who are coming back home. I share in the concern that he has raised, that if you don't know how we communicate this thing, we end up disadvantaging them. Because if the impression is that there were 13,000 that went to Cote d'Ivoire, and that 8,000 are back home, that those who want to assist with any relief items and the rest will now send it there based on this number. There's only 5,000. If it happens that there are still more than over 10,000 that are living over there, then definitely there's no way those relief items will go around everybody. And so my only plea, the intelligence bodies of this country, move in there. Let's try and maintain some peace. Let's get our assistance to return back to Ghana and let life continue. And so it's a collective call. Government has a role to play. All of us have a role to play. The media has a role to play. As I'm commending the minority side that went to the place, you, the media, can on your own as well organize and visit them. And then you get reporters that come and corroborate what they are putting out now, although you say the facts as you may see. So maybe that's a challenge for you as well, to want to make a detour to the place.
We'll take it up. We'll take it up
and come back. Thank you.
Right. I'll still stay with you. Your government has come under fire in recent times over the fight against galamsey or illegal mining. They believe that in the last 8 months, the administration of President Mahama has done little to really ensure that this environmental destruction is brought to an end. You agree or you disagree on this?
Well, I appreciate and understand why people make this call and people say the kind of things they are saying. That galamsey is killing everybody. Galamsey is drawing this country back. And if we don't take very, very serious action against galamsey, the consequences in the future will be very, very dire. Nigeria have their own Boko Haram they are battling with, and all that. I fear that if we don't look at even the galamsey issue beyond just the destruction they are causing to vegetation and water bodies, we are creating a fertile environment where people now can even form alliance with them, looking at the sophisticated weapons and things that they are using, and they could become what to be a militia group. They could become a terrorist group that could be deployed to do other very dangerous things in this country. And for that matter, we need to be very, very careful how we look at this issue. It's an issue that we need multifaceted approach to address. And people thought that it's lingered on for far too long. They thought that 8 months in office, we should have been able to eradicate something that has been here for decades. Practically, it is not possible. I am aware of the effort that has been done by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the police service, the government, and everybody. So much work is going to this Go Galamsey issue. But what Ghanaians are looking for is a solution. It's as if people are not even interested in hearing the things you are doing or the measures you are putting in place to keep the issue. I've heard this whole conversation about we declaring a state of emergency. And let me put on record that at no point when NDC was in opposition did President John Dramani Mahama, then candidate Mahama, ever, if there's any record, you can put it out. If there's any side record where he said that the solution to Galamsey issue is the declaration of a state of emergency. That is not to say that there were no people in the NDC who made that call. There were several people who made that call. The government of the day declares state of emergency is to solve the problem. Question today is, declaration of a state of emergency, is that a panacea to the problem? Is that a final solution to the problem? Do we really understand what it means to declare a state of emergency? Have we sat back to look at the fallout? And President Mahama, when he addressed the press, or when he met the press recently, he never said we are not going to declare a state of emergency. He said it is not the first option, and that there are several things that we have put in place. And so when we observe and see how those things work out. Now I tell you, per all the information we have or the information that's available to us, people are not directly mining on our water bodies again. What is happening now is that people are mining in the forest and then they channel the water into the water bodies. Because of this blue gas people that have been introduced, who are on the waters, patrolling the waters every now and then, it is becoming very difficult for anybody to go to the river bank and go and do direct mining over there. So now they are channeling the water in here. I am aware of the number of champagnes that has been confiscated and same bent, and this, I'm sure even your TV station has shown this to the Ghanaian public. I am aware that all this earth-moving equipment that they have brought to this country, the DVLA now has tried to put tracking device on them, so we are able to track where every single device, equipment is and what the equipment is being used for. There are some that came to the port that the government didn't allow them to clear it. You know, almost all of us have been approached by one person that who said the equipments are locked up at the ports. Can you get the minister to give us approval to clear it? There's a clear roadmap. You need to be able to show what they are going to use the equipment for. You know, if you are taking the construction site, you need to be able to demonstrate that they put a tracking device before they allow you to clear the equipment. If not, nobody is going to allow it. The last time I'm told that they've moved all those who are, because the port is congested, they've moved most of the equipment from there to a military base, I think around Afienya. That is where they are keeping the equipment as of now. My brother, there's nobody who can play the ostrich and pretend that this Galamsey thing is not a major problem or that it's not affecting our country. Apart from the water bodies that it's having effect on, apart from the vegetation that we are pulling down very, very fast, the effect on even human life. You check the data from the health sector, the Ministry of Health. You know, the kind of children that are giving birth to these days, especially in the mining areas. It's a call forward to all of us. You know, the foodstuffs that are contaminated by cyanides and mercuries and what have you. So it's something that we need to find a solution to. The question is it the case that we should stop mining completely in Ghana? Is it an option we want to exercise? What will be the repercussion on the economy? What will be the repercussion on job creation in this country? I have said time with that number that God in his own infinite wisdom gave nations natural resources. The Bible said the last thing God created was a man. After he has created everything and given us dominion and authority over all creation. And so these natural potentials that we have are not supposed to kill us. They are to enhance and make our lives better than they have always been. Unfortunately, in our case, it's becoming a disaster. It's becoming a distraction. You and I know that Ghana is not the only country that is mining any form of minerals. Go to Johannesburg and see how Johannesburg in South Africa looks like. And that is a major mining city. They have been able to put the resources of that mining in building the city. You can see the benefits. I don't think that they have this level of distraction to their vegetation and the water bodies as we have over here. If you go to Algeria, per their laws, all the golds and the minerals are directly under the watch of the state. Private persons are not allowed in there. It's the state that is doing the mining. And so everything is well regulated. There's no distraction anything. The state is doing the way they want to do it. If you go to Australia, they are doing mining. Recently, the sector minister, Honorable Kofi Amabu, a very hardworking minister, he was in Australia himself to have some engagement and find out what they are doing. My understanding is that they intend to even take some people there to go and learn their system.
My friend, what is so difficult that we can't stop this practice? What is so difficult that we can't bring the destruction of the environment to an end? What is so difficult?
Well, I maintain a very strong position that there is nothing that is too much for the state to do if the state is really determined to do it. There is no individual or group of people who are more powerful than the state. The state has everything that it takes to calm down everything that the state thinks that is a menace, is not helping us. And so we can do it. But you need to weigh the options. Mining in this country has been with us, only God knows when, before we became a republic. Our forefathers have always been mining. In fact, do you come by the name Gold Coast? It is because of the first people who came to this place know that we had a lot of gold, and they were involved in all these gold mining activities. The problem we seem to have today is the introduction of this, this earth-moving equipment.
Excavators?
The excavators and the rest. That is when the problem was escalated. Otherwise, these boys that we always ransack and put in places and the rest, they have always been mining, using the pickers, using the shovels, using the small tools. And they mine purely for survival. And so they were not a nuisance, so to speak. They were not causing so much distraction to our vegetation. The use of chemicals was very, very minimal. But we open the floodgates, and then we allow this equipment to move in there. Other foreign nationals have taken over. My brother, go and check the price of gold now in the international market. It is good money we are talking about. And so, once people know that when they move in there, they will make so much money from it. It is not something you can just sit on television and say, stop it, and they'll stop it. You need more than just that. Now, those who are saying that declare a state of emergency, if indeed we appreciate what that means, and try it after 1 week, when you have declared a state of emergency, you have moved your military to the place. It's a red zone. The police are there. One day, the police shoots or the military shoots and kill somebody. And the family come back to tell you, oh, he was not even going to the Galamsey site. He was only on his way to the farm. He was going to his cocoa farm, and they shot and killed him. All of us return to this table and start condemning government, condemning the police, condemning the military for shooting and killing. I am saying that I believe if the will is there, if we are committed, if we are resolved, we can still find other means and ways to resolve this Galamsey issue and create a peaceful and a conducive nation for all of us. One of the things I think, my personal view, that we should do, we need to invest more into research when it comes to gold exploration. Gold is like a belt. It's a rock. When you find a vegetation the size of this place, it's not the case that when you excavate every place, you find gold. You are locating the rock, the belt that the gold is running through. That's what you are looking for. Because we don't have gadgets and data that will tell us that dig this particular spot and you meet the rock, the people go in there. Digging,
yeah.
That's what is going on. So they go there, they are digging every place. So if you can now do your research, you have machines that when they get there, they place on the ground. They are able to tell this is the belt. And so they are digging the exact place. You have a second batch of people following them. After digging, these people are doing land reclamation immediately. So you dig today, by close of day tomorrow, some people are filling all the whatever. The holes might have dug. There's a third group that is following, doing afforestation, planting trees back. We don't have this problem we are having. Now, when you know the exact spot where the gold is, now you can encourage these people now to create ponds using underground water, so that when they get the gold, They wash it in a pond over there. Chemicals are put in the water to the chemicals they might have used and all those things to remove all those mercuries and cyanide before the water gets back down underground. The reason they are not able to do the ponds and all those is because they don't know exactly where the goat is. And so they are just roaming in the forest, cutting down every tree, digging everywhere. And so it becomes difficult for them to plan how to do their work. That's one leg of what we can do. I hold a very strong view that if we can go back and look at our laws again, because our laws in Ghana says that every mineral that is at a certain level below the earth crust belongs to the state. The state has power and authority over it. It becomes a bit problematic to want to hold Nananom accountable when something goes wrong. I believe that if you can look at the laws very well and allow the disassemblies and the chiefs to partner. Why? Several years before now, our forefathers could just declare a particular forest zone and say, this is a no-go area.
It's an evil forest.
It's an evil forest. And that was enough deterrent. And nobody there entered that forest. And that's how they were able to preserve their forest.
Okay.
Now, because we have made laws, and the laws don't kill her, maybe the way the evil forest juju would have killed you, people are not afraid of the law. Those who are supposed to enforce the laws don't enforce the law. And so, even in forest reserve, we move in there to go and destroy the entire forest. Sometimes, really, it becomes very difficult to discuss this subject.
Okay.
Because the impression is created that when you are in opposition, your
conversation
view,
is
your conversation, the
different.
narrative is different. Now that you are in power, the narrative has changed. And it is made to look as though you are being hypocritical, you don't want to confront the issues.
But is that not the reality?
Sometimes when you are confronted with the hard facts of an issue, definitely your view, your outlook of it may change from what you perceive it to be when you were not close with all the facts and all the information that you need.
Okay.
So my conclusion on this subject is that we need to check the way mining is going on in this country.
Okay.
We need to do whatever it is. Destruction to forest, destruction to water bodies, and the health implications. The only good news the president spoke about last, and some people, either they didn't pay attention to him or tried to pick it out of context. In time past, when for example we didn't have the gold board, the Chinese, the Indians, people from Dubai, other nationals were coming here to buy the gold at a son, and they ship it all abroad and go and make heavy money and they keep it out there. Now the tradition of the gold board.
And many say that the introduction of gold was encouraged or is encouraging Galamsey.
But that again can also be true.
Well,
because Galamsey has been with us, in fact, for the past almost 20 years.
Okay.
It's been a subject we've been discussing.
Okay.
Gold board is barely 4 months, 3 months. So how do you blame the Galamsey issues on gold board? How do you do that?
But
when, in my view, gold board is helping us to get value from our small scale mining.
Okay.
And now we look at the laws that we pass in the
well, let me take let me take
how do you pass a law in this country
in 30 seconds?
In 20 seconds, 30 okay. That when you mine your gold, you allow companies to repatriate the profit and everything into their countries, so that Ghana that has a gold, we were not benefiting directly from our own gold.
But now we are benefiting.
But if they drive the gold board now, we buy the gold stays in our country, and we see the benefit of it.
Okay.
The question is, the money that we think we are making from gold today, vis-a-vis the distraction that is causing us, if we do the analysis, is it a cost we still want to continue to pursue?
Okay.
Or want to halt it?
Okay.
For me, that's the argument.
Okay. Nana, the conversation is that the minority or the MPP is not being fair. It's not being fair. It's not being fair to the Mahama administration, because in just 8 months or 9 months, 8 or 9 months, you don't expect the government to do anything magic, in resolving the issue of Galamsey, it's too short a time for you to demand accountability in the fight against illegal mining?
You see, hypocrisy is what will collapse this country. And when we get to the point where it is collapsing this country, none of us, not even Fred, not me, none of us can save this country. You cannot even save, even you cannot save this country. Because we have allowed our hypocrisy eat so much into us. And nobody now thinks about the interest of this entire country. Again, it is just our selfish and individual interests. Why am I starting with this prelude? Look, I am a young guy. I admitted that, I may not know a lot of things that have happened way back. But I want to be frank. And I've been challenging myself. I've gone to a lot of stations and I've thrown this challenge. Still waiting for somebody to prove me wrong. That if we can find a video, a story, that the Rawlings government struggled with Galamsey, that the Kufuor government struggled with Galamsey, I'm still looking. And it is difficult.
Oh, there is.
Oh, no. So help us. Maybe help us.
Hold
on, help us. You know why? Because we have been mining in this country, like he said. And we've not had serious challenges with mining in this country until the introduction of the Chinese and the Shamfites into mining, which was during their time.
It's not true. It started in the Kufuor's time. Oh, go and check the facts.
When he was talking, I was here. I had pen. I had notes. I was writing.
Because I spoke the truth.
Oh, so you can write the false and take your time and deal with the false. Look, the excessive invasion of the Chinese into our country was facilitated, enabled during their government. The NDC first government, the Mills Mahama government.
It's not true.
Look, that was how and when mining became detrimental to us. Fast forward, Akufo-Addo comes to office, wins 2016 election, comes to government in 2017. 2017, Akufo-Addo placed a ban on illegal mining. 2 years ban on illegal mining. This ban was lifted somewhere around 2019, eating into 2020. And that was when the threats and all the issues were coming from our own backyard and our own party faithfuls. He said that I am even ready to sacrifice or to put my government online. Put my government online. Now, when we were seriously challenged, after all the interventions we've done, the drones, the water guards, the community mining, the reclamation, all of them, when we were still challenged with these things. And I'll tell you where the challenges were coming from. When we were still challenged with this thing, we came out openly to tell everybody in this country that, hey, the nemesis that is facing us, the challenges that we have, the Galamsey war that is crippling into our communities, let us decouple politics from it and deal with the matter. Because the miners, they are Ghanaians. One, the miners, they are largely not politicians. Today, go to the communities. All the MPP miners have now handed over their tools to the NDC people, miners.
Or the miners are MPP and NDC.
Oh, they will tell you that your government is in power, so you now front it. Because when the people come and it is me, an MPP person.
Why did you get this?
Oh, I live in a mining community.
But it's true.
I live in a mining community.
We have all heard of this.
Look, I am telling you, all the miners
who were MPP or who has affiliations with MPP have handed over their tools to the NDC miners. The NDC people have now invested heavily in mining. When we were telling you that, hey, let us decouple politics away from this nemesis and come together and fight this, what did they tell us?
No.
They told us to our face that they will never. How does light even, come into contact with darkness? Sammi Wiafe. They will never. Felix told us that we are the government, the people, the taxpayers have given us their resources. We have the mandate. We should fight Galamsey. They made it an Ekufuado problem. They made it an MPP problem. We suffered the consequences. For the first time in this country, we had bishops demonstrating. For what? Mining. For the first time in this country. For the first time in this country, we have lecturers in Accra, UPSA, Legon, Gimpa, Wisconsin, lecturers who not KUSC. Here, they sat here and declared war on mining. Went on strike against the government on mining. We had young Ghanaians that were demonstrating in front of 37. 37, oh. Yeah. Against mining. Look, mining was weaponized. Galamsey was weaponized against us. And we suffered the consequences. We were told that if a government is committed and have the power and the political wherewithal to fight Galamsey, he only needs a week.
Now, were you committed?
Oh,
MPP, were you committed in the fight?
Hold on. Let us, assuming without admitting that we were not. That was why we lost the election, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the MPP is not even a subject matter.
But the argument is
hold on.
But the argument is that if you have done extra more, you have gone the extra mile.
Like I'm saying, let us admit that we did the extra less. That was why we lost power. Are you getting that? That was why we lost power. That was why you voted against us. And you promised that you only need a week. There was an LI 242 or what LI. They told us that LI must be repealed.
We are ready to repeal.
Oh, relax. I'll come there. I mean, I took my time. I relaxed for you. They told us that they need only 1 week. Today, it is 9 months. That is why people are worried, though. People are not worried for any reason. They are worried because of the kind of things the NDC told us. And the kind of things that we are seeing now. Fred asked a few questions. I'll say, do we understand what it takes to declare a state of emergency? That was Fred here. Fred should have asked this question some 9 months earlier. He should have asked this question from 9 months earlier. If he himself, when today Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Ama Kofi Boa, was talking about declaring state of emergency on mining, did he know what it takes to declare state of emergency? When Okujeto Ablakwa was telling us to declare the state of emergency on mining, did he know what it took or what it takes to do that? When Aruna Idrisu was doing same, did he know? Did Fred ask him? Did the whole NDC apparatus, did they ask themselves, what does it take to declare state of emergency? He says, now the second question, this is not the first option. Did you know the state of emergency was not the first option then? Today, the shoe is on the other foot. So now you know that there are options. Today, you know that it is not the last option. But you forced Akufo-Addo. You pressed on Akufo-Addo. You created the impression that Akufo-Addo is evil and he is in the pit mining. Look, they came out with a quantum mining. The Japadia, the what? Yeah. Where is the Japadia book today? Where is it? Eh? Journalists in this country were making references to a Japadia. Where is it? This is how we have been so hypocritical about this menace. And today, the NDC. Look, when you read Erastus, when you read Erastus will tell you that the mining in this 9 months is worse he has ever seen. Go to Central Region. They have closed sections of their water processing plants. Swedru and the West. They don't have water.
The Konyako headworks.
Yes. They don't have. They don't. Today, all the reports is indicating that Galamsey is worse than it used to be. Today. That is why people are worried. So if you tell us that you cannot fix a problem of 8 years, no, the problem was not 8 years old. Galamsey is not the 8 years problem. It started worse in Mills Muhammad.
Not true. The data that the father support that. It is early 2000 that foreigners and this F movement were introduced into Galamsey in this country. The fathers are there. Check it on the internet. Fast check. It was the early 2000 that President Wada started. That's the truth. You can go on the internet and check.
I'm not going to check what you
understand. It's on the internet. You can check.
In
fact, even small scale mining, the law was passed in 1989 in this country to legalize small scale mining. It was in 1989. So Galamsey and these things predated Ghana's independence. Like I said, there were small things people were doing. But the law officially was passed in 1989. It was from 2000 coming that foreigners, especially Chinese, were allowed into the mining sector in this country. And the introduction of the excavators and the rest.
Okay.
You understand? So, I agree with you when you say that. When people say, I'm sorry I have to interject you. I'm very, very sorry about that. When people say, don't.
You are disowning me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. This one, I apologize. When people say, don't politicize these things, they don't make sense to me. You know why? Ghanaians go to the polls to vote for governments. And Ghanaians vote for governments to come and what? Take these decisions and make policies to address their problems. Yeah. This is a decision by the states, led by an administration. And so you cannot say that we don't politicize it. You cannot. So I am not one of the people who think that if the thing is happening and the NDC is wrong, we should not say it. And President Mahama's administration, when some officials in our party, national officials, allegations were made against them that they were involved in this Galamsey issue, the president was courageous enough to say, now, refer them to Yoko.
But we never heard anything from it after
the Attorney General spoke recently, but you are the forfeiting of the rep. Don't say you've not heard anything. You are supposed to follow up and tell Ghanaians. The Attorney General told the people of this country that investigations are ongoing. The reason why I am reluctant to do partisan politics on this subject, and now he has got an opportunity, he's doing that, is but for me, I wanted us to look at the issue nationally, in a very nationalistic manner, and find a solution. I could have also done the same thing, the things people from NPP said, the things they did, and blah, blah. Professor Akufo-Addo said this, Professor Akufo-Addo said this. I could have done all those things. But is that a solution to the problem? The blame game? No. It's not a blame game. And that is why deliberately I stayed away from that type of communication. It's not because I don't know. Anyway, continue.
Let me now continue.
As you land.
Oh, I'm not landing. No. Look,
You have 5 minutes.
That is not fair.
You have 5 minutes to wrap
That
up.
is not fair.
You have 5 minutes to wrap up. I have a timer here.
Now, you see, why are we worried and concerned? We are worried and concerned because the people that weaponized Galamsey against us and told Ghanaians that they have the magic wand to do anything and stop Galamsey are now seriously during the administration perpetuating and even doing it worse. My good friend, let Senior Fred tell me, mention one initiative, one, in fighting Galamsey that have been introduced by the NDC that was not or were not in existence. I can yield my time for him again. One.
Blue water, is it blue water guards?
It was there.
It wasn't there.
I said it was there. Let me show you videos and pictures of blue water guard. It was there. These were things that MPP introduced.
Drones they brought and
it is not true.
The drones
but blue water guards was introduced by this administration. It was the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources.
It is the same Galamsey fight that led to the unfortunate death of our guy. See, government is doing so much. Please, don't say that.
Hold on. What they were going to lunch, what was the name?
Cooperative mining something.
They said responsible what?
Cooperative mining.
Yeah. What were we doing?
Community mining.
And what's the difference?
So if you don't know, just
hold on. What is the difference?
So tell you.
What is the difference? Nothing. It was just the name. They only add responsible. They only add the word responsible. That got 8 of Ghanaians killed.
Names are not just chosen for nothing.
I am telling you.
They are chosen for purpose.
Tell me nothing. Not
if
even one.
If you are doing community mining,
not even one.
Is it a good thing?
Not even one. Look, all the lands that were reclaimed by the MPP government under the reclamation program, the NDC have now gone to redig all those lands.
You see, that's why you are not going to find a solution to this issue.
Yes.
As long as you sit here and all you think about is NDC this, NDC that, NDC that, then we are not going to make any headway. We are not. And it will swallow all of us up. If that is what you want us to do when we get opportunity, and NDC has done that, and NDC has done that, NDC has done that, then we will sit around this table, scream and shout, and the problem will still linger on.
But Fred, you don't think over the years, these two political parties have always used Galamsey in their campaigning? The more reason why many people believe that we have politicized the fight against.
Must we continue? Must he and I continue?
Look, see,
must we?
I have endured my senior for some time. I think I have. I mean, I've been a gentleman this morning.
Who said you have?
I know I am. You see, no, the point is clear. I am trying to. You see, I allow him to come in so that you know that the uncomfortability, the situation he is in. You weaponize this. You use this against us. And today, you want us to sympathize with you. You want us to come on board after we've suffered the same thing.
So is do me, I do you?
It is not do me, I do you. Who is doing who? The Catholic bishops, they are not MPP. The Catholic bishops are not MPP. At least they have been a bit consistent. At least I'm not fully satisfied with their position or posturing. But at least they have been a bit consistent. They've shown to us what they are doing. But the leadership of the teachers union that led those demonstrations spoke on all channels here in this country, now enjoying the proceeds of their attack, weaponizing Galamsey, and now enjoying the proceeds, have not been able to hold this government to their feet and to the fire.
Because we cannot do 25-year problem in 8 months.
Hold on.
And they are away.
Hold on. You see, you promised the people that you will repeal the act.
I told you that.
Hold on.
I'm just giving information.
Oh, I don't need your information. I am in the same house with you. Look, ask Fred. It took them only 1 day.
I was saying to ask him.
It took them only 1 day to pass the gold board bill. Only 1 day. They stood through. They sat throughout the night.
You were sleeping.
Those who were feeling sleepy, they organized tea for them. Some even they even brought some water buckets to the chamber, and they were putting their legs in so they would not sleep. They sat overnight. Listen, they sat overnight to pass that gold board bill. It is taking you 9 months. 9 months. 9 months to repeal the law. Before they repealed the law, they had enjoyed the process. They would have enjoyed the process, and that is one of the strategies. Because if you were committed, you were committed like you told them, it was going to be the first thing you would have repealed when you came to office. Because what do you need? What do you need to repeal it?
Look at the water.
What do you need to repeal it? Now, you see, you know why the pressure is here now. The Galamsey pressure is up. Because of the press conference President John Mahama did. The press conference demonstrated to every Ghanaian.
But he was being honest.
Hold on. At least so he was not honest.
At least he was being honest.
No, so he was not honest.
He was saying the reality.
No. So during the Akufo-Addo stay, it wasn't reality. Akufo-Addo wasn't honest. You see the kind of people, that's the problem we have. Now he's being honest. Then he was not honest. So you enjoy you benefit and now come to be honest with us. The answers, the posturing that he gave is what everybody has now come to see. I used to tell people, and you see me, I'm not, because no matter what you say, President John Mahama is done. He has gotten whatever he wants to do. He's done. He's not interested in anything. He's not coming back again for your vote. I told a lot of people, I told Ghanaians that, look, when President John Mahama had the opportunity to come again to seek your mandate, he told you that he has a dead goat syndrome. Now he doesn't need your mandate again. And the only thing politicians are scared of. Fred, relax. You were
no, why you were?
Politicians are scared.
You want us to talk about it?
Politicians are scared of.
Okay, now coming back
for re-election. See, so it is clear for me, because he mentioned some of the response. You form Gold Board. You are alluding the credit, the stabilization of the city. President Mahama told us that the city is a brand here because of Gold Board. Alluding the credit of the city to Gold Board. But you are not ready and willing to take the consequences the Gold Board brings.
Which consequences? Which consequences?
Anything Galamsey.
The only thing,
Gold Board is not mining. Gold Board is not mining. Where is Gold Board buying their gold?
It's only preventing those who are smuggling their gold
buying their gold for.
I am saying that.
Hold on.
Mining has only been taking place. People always smuggling gold.
Gentlemen.
Do they buy from you?
Nana, take Fred, Nana and Fred, take water. Let me go on Zoom. Let me speak to Awula Sewa of Echo. Just hold on for me. Let me go on Zoom and speak to Awula Sewa of Echo Conscious Citizens to get their take also on this issue of Galamsey. Awula Sewa, good morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Good morning to you and your listeners. Thank you for having me.
I'm sure you are listening to the politicians in the studio politicize the fight against illegal mining. From where you sit, I know I've had a conversation with you on resolving this issue of Galamsey, but then the argument has shifted to a declaration of a state of emergency that will, many people believe, will bring a finality to the destruction of the environment. You are one of those who believe a state of emergency should be declared as soon as possible?
Well, you see, when we say we want a state of emergency, what is it that we want? We want swift, robust, decisive action to be taken. The president said he hasn't exhausted all the tools at his disposal. So the question is, if there's more he could do, what is he waiting for? And let me say here that there was a low-hanging fruit, LI 2462. Why hasn't it been repealed yet? You know, there was this charade about an amendment when what we were promised was revocation. And now we are told it's going to be done. And if you might recall, Honorable Sammi Wiafe had told us the same thing, I believe in May or June, and it wasn't done. But what we are saying is that the ongoing ecocide needs to stop. We are all being poisoned, every single one of us, including the illegal miners themselves. And what we want is decisive action to be taken. And that is why we said a state of emergency. By state of emergency, we want you to use all the resources at your disposal, the armed forces, police, everything you have. And of course, resources also has to deal with money. Go to the forest reserves. Before then, you can declare them security zones and then ask everybody to leave. And then you remove the environmental criminals and their equipment. And then we also want you to stop the importation of excavators. We believe there are enough excavators in the country. What are excavators used for? Is there such a great building boom going on that we need so many excavators? We know very well that they are finding their ways to the forest reserves. And when we talk about tracking, I'm reliably informed that the tracking is not robust enough. They're able to remove the tracking. But be that as it may, stop the importation of the excavators, go to the forest reserves, remove the environmental terrorists and their equipment, and then you need to start the reclamation, the water bodies, remove all the chanfans, send your navy, send everybody you can send, and so simultaneously, you're on the water bodies, you're in the forest reserves, you're in the forest reserves, and arresting this mayhem, which is killing all of us. And let me be clear that we are currently in what we call the season of creation, which is from September to October, 4th October, I believe. And we're supposed to be reflecting on the good environment God gave us. We're mandated to take care of it. It wasn't an option, it was a mandate. Is this what we are doing, taking care of it? If our ancestors had been as wicked as we are, we wouldn't have come to meet any forest. But what is happening is that we don't believe the political will is there. In opposition, persons were lining up to ask for a declaration of a state of emergency. Now we even find some people in the opposition asking for it. And the question is that if one was needed, why didn't you declare one when you were there? So the time has come to stop politicizing this issue. Yes, and look at how we are going to stop this ongoing ecocide. And you see, when we talk about livelihoods, it's very disingenuous. Do we know the number of peasant farmers who are at risk of losing their livelihood as a consequence of this mayhem? How many have actually lost their livelihood? The fishermen as well, those with rubber plantations, oil plantations, and so on and so forth. So people are losing their livelihood. Every single Ghanaian is being poisoned. And I keep on saying that even when the water is clear, it doesn't mean it's safe. It could have the arsenic and cyanide and what have you. Our food, whether consummate, tubers, plantain, are being poisoned. So a responsible government needs to stop this mayhem, needs to do what needs to be done. If you know you can do what needs to be done without declaring a state of emergency, be our guest and do so. But I think it's very astonishing to say that we haven't reached there when over 60% of our waters have been polluted. Are we waiting for it to be 100% before we would have reached there? And I think some people were really disappointed with the comment about the gold board getting the gold. At the end of the day, all Ghanaians want is an end to the destruction. And for us to realize that mining is not the only form of livelihood. And yes, it is a fact that whether it's community mining, whether it's responsible cooperative mining, if you don't have enforcement in place to ensure that there's compliance, it's not going to make any difference. It will be a rebranding of the discredited community mining. So what the civil society organizations, Catholic Bishops Conference, anybody who has the interest of Ghana at heart is saying, we need to arrest the situation. We are being poisoned. We are facing an existential threat, and it must be stopped immediately. And the appetite for dealing with this matter robustly does not seem to be there because too many people close to this regime, as was the case in the SY regime, are involved. It's as simple as that. So we need to put aside who is involved and who is not involved and decide that every single Ghanaian needs to be kept safe. And let's get on with getting rid of this ecocide that is going to kill every single Ghanaian.
Are we racing against time? Because we are told that some headworks of the Ghana Water Company Limited are already shutting down. We are told that somewhere last week the Kwenyaku headworks, was shut down, and over 10 districts in the central region are without water. Are we racing against time?
Yes, we are sitting on a time bomb. We are facing an ecological catastrophe. An ecological catastrophe. We didn't start today. Yes, it's been going on for maybe the past 20 years, but it's becoming worse and worse and worse. And the window of opportunity to act whilst we are dilly-dallying is closing. We face an ecological catastrophe, and it is just disappointing that we are busy playing politics. Your regime was worse, mine is worse. We are where we are now. Let's deal with the catastrophe. If it's declaring a state of emergency as we have demanded, declaring, because the window of opportunity is closing. We are sitting on a time bomb. The house is burning. We are using buckets of water. Let's call the fire service to deal with this fire before the whole house is engulfed in flames. History will not judge us well. We'll be known as the worst generation that just sat there. In fact, we are committing suicide. We know what is going on. Are we penny wise and pound foolish? That because of a few pennies, and even if you look at the amount of money Gold Board is getting, when you look at what your health bill is going to get with the rising number of kidney disease, cancers, you want a 24-hour economy when the workforce is in hospital. How are you going to have it? So no claps for the past administration or this administration. Let's all come together and say that we're going to put Ghana first and arrest this catastrophe before.
Well, there are many who have also said that declaring a state of emergency will come with its own excesses. You agree? Awala is not on the line. We'll try and connect. We'll try and connect her again, and then and let me finish my point. The advice is that we shouldn't politicize the fight against.
When did this advice?
At least we had Awula Sewa.
Where was she when?
At least we've had Awula Sewa saying. So the two of you, Fred.
Ghanaian spoke. You are angry that Ghanaian spoke.
You are not getting the.
And so you want to
Fred and Nana, both of you are members of parliament.
Let me finish. Then
the time is not.
Yes, at the same time you keep coming in. The same time.
Just 2 minutes.
No.
We'll try and raise Awula on Zoom again.
You see, you
2 minutes.
Passed a Gold Board bill. Section 74 of the Gold Board bill reads, gold mining products. And the mining product means gold from dredging in the river. So even your Gold Board mine accept to buy gold from the water bodies. The minings from the water bodies.
Read that thing properly.
Read
that thing properly.
The mining from the water bodies.
So you believe the Gold Board, the creation of the Gold Board has increased Galamsey?
It is enabling. More water. It is enabling Galamsey. Those times, President Mahama responded that, the Chinese would have gotten or smuggled the Galamsey. At least we know that they were crime. We would have persecuted them. But today, you are enabling the crime by introducing Gold Board, which is buying the crime and legitimizing it. So what is the energy? What is the commitment to fight Galamsey? The painful aspect is that, and that is why I feel some well-meaning Ghanaians are seeing through the crystal ball. They are seeing that, look, they were played, they were deceived, they were lied to. They were lied to. Because if we have to play tips by tips from what the NDC told Ghanaians, and today what they are saying and doing, you will notice that we have been shortchanged. And that is why we won't say that we are politicizing it. But we have to make Ghanaians know the hypocrisy of the NDC. Because everything, look, we had water guard. Like
your 2 minutes is up.
We had water guard.
Your 2 minutes is up.
You know the only thing they did? They add blue to the water guard. So they had blue water guard. When we had water guards, we had community mining. They came and added responsible community mining. Everything. They have not even introduced one single initiative.
Okay, your 2 minutes is up. Fred.
So that is the point.
Fred, you think we can take politics away from this? You think so?
When we gave Paula and Nana to stop talking to this subject, we can take politics from it. Because when you gave me the opportunity to speak, I was very, very deliberate about it. I was very, very deliberate. I could have gone on to say all the things that were said.
But Fred, but Fred, you will not.
I am thinking
you
more
will
Ghana.
not. But somebody from your party will go that path.
Is that a solution? We have a problem confronting us that we need to face, we need to resolve. And you think the way to do it is to be calling ourselves names and be telling the people of this country what each other is doing? Is that a solution? You see, I am only disappointed when Anna says that we succeeded in deceiving Ghanaians. It's as though Ghanaians were not living in this country, they were in Afghanistan, and they didn't know what was going on in this country. And I took the NDC to bring them up to speed as to the happenings in Galamsey under your watch. All the bodies that you mentioned, and those you are even trying to accuse that today they are not acting, they are not saying anything, they were alive to the realities on the day. They were alive to the realities. We all saw the things that happened. I cannot sit here and say that.
You see, I just want
we have.
When he was talking, you see how.
Don't
worry, he will remain calm when you are talking as well.
Have you seen I kept quiet for him to interject me calmly? I didn't fight him. See, I didn't fight him. Because I know we're having a conversation. So occasionally we can talk about ourselves.
For me 2 minutes because our life is back on Zoom.
See, this problem is a major problem. We need to find a solution to it. We can't continue to do the blame game whilst the devastation continues. We must put brakes on the blame game and confront the issue head on. We must. I agree that we said categorically that when we came into office, we were going to repeal the law that allows people to mine in the forest reserve, which was a regime promulgated a particular law. When we came into office, we said we were going to do it. It is taking too long. The fact is that, as we speak today, I am reliably aware that the Attorney General is looking at the law. My understanding is that as soon as Parliament returns, that law will be brought for it to be passed to make sure that the forest reserve was a no-go area. One of the things we need to do, as I've said, the importation of these excavators, we need to watch it. In recent times, we confiscated this the water pumping machines. Unlike in the past that we set all these things ablaze, we decided to give it to farmers to use on their farms. For me, it's a good initiative. I was even against the burning down of excavators. No. That some of these excavators could be used in fixing our roads and not for the land reclamation. How do we burn the excavator? And now we go and buy a new excavator, or we go and rent a new excavator for the purposes of doing land reclamation. And I thought that was a misplaced approach. I am happy that now, when we see the pumping machines, they go to farming. Galamsey issue, my brother, if we sit back and we say all the nice things about it, and we play about it, it will swallow us up. Yeah. As we indicated, several districts are struggling with water today. 10. In the central region. 10. Because the stability levels of the water works now cannot process the water.
This is close to 1 million people.
You understand? All of us, the food stuff that we eat in Accra, we don't even know where the food stuff is coming from. Those that contain all these chemicals, we don't even know. Was it 2 or 3 days ago? Yesterday, I saw the statistics from Kolebu. Number of people have reported with diabetes,
diseases,
those who have reported kidney problems, those who have reported, it's on the increase. Reality is that these diseases in time past were limited to the elderly people. These days, 15 years,
now 15,
18,
20
years.
30.
So this is not an issue we should play with. We should do the normal politicking with. Because our lives, all of us collectively, our lives are at risk. Our lives are at risk. And so we need to come to that point one day and say, see, if it is gold mining that will make us live as a nation, then we better stop mining and have eat our gari and gobe and live, than to go and be eating fufu and goat meat and die the following day as a result of the sign. Maybe we have to take that decision.
All right, Fred, thank you. Let me go back on Zoom and speak to conclude the conversation with Awula Sewa. Awula, thank you for your time again. Forgive me, the lines were not our best of friends.
No, yeah. No worries. Technology is always.
There are many who have said that declaring a state of emergency will come with its own excesses, its own implications. And so we should be very careful in our quest to force government or force the president to declare it.
You see, what I would say is that some mischievous persons equate a state of emergency with shoot and kill. They are two different things. When you have a state of emergency, there are clear terms of reference. It doesn't mean go Rambo style, killing everybody in sight. Somebody's going to his farm, then you go and kill him. You know, you don't just declare a state of emergency. As we said, you give people 24 hours, whatever, to leave the forest reserves and the water bodies. It's targeted. And then your personnel have clear terms of reference. They're not to just shoot willy-nilly. But of course, if they are being attacked and their lives are under threat, of course they would meet fire with fire to defend themselves. But what I've also said is that eco-conscious citizens, what we want is an end to the mayhem. We want an end to the impending catastrophe. We're already in a very serious situation when over 60% of our water bodies have been poisoned, when the water we are drinking is probably poisoned, when there's a rise in kidney disease, deformities, maternal deaths, and so on and so forth. And as has been rightly said, this is not the time to apportion blame. We can do that after we have solved this problem. So we are saying that if you know you can do everything that needs to be done without declaring a state of emergency, go ahead and do it. But you are dilly-dallying. Today we go to this forest, burn 3 excavators, and then the next day we run to this forest, then they have also repossessed the forests we reclaim. It's not going to work. We'll not solve this problem in the 4 years that we have. And let me say this, some security persons, retired army officers have said that with the political will there, with all the political parties coming together as if there's a war, because there's a war going on. We're at war with the environmental terrorists. We all come together and have the political will to get rid of every single person in our party who is engaging in illegal mining. You talked about the 2 persons who had been referred to Yoko. But we all know that more than 2 persons have been named. We have named party chairmen. We have named members of parliament. I don't want to call names right now. So it's not a question of just selecting 2 people and asking Yoko to investigate them. But all I'll say is that the parties have to all come together, put Ghana first for a change, and give their support in declaring a state of emergency. But as I've said, you don't want to declare a state of emergency, then taking all the steps that you take under a state of emergency, that is having all the resources, the full strength of your armed forces, and using them, the Navy as well, to remove the Chanfans, to destroy the Chanfans. You know, when you're getting to the mining areas, you see towns where Chanfans are being made and repaired, and we're allowing this to happen. Stop the importation of excavators, start the reclamation where you can. Some of the place is so polluted that before you start, you have to make sure that you are removing the poisons. So start the reclamation process. But we cannot continue dithering, because as I've said, it's a time bomb. The house is burning, and we're not going to wait till the house has been engulfed in flames 100% before we send the fire service for a recovery exercise, that is to retrieve dead bodies. We need to act yesterday. The next best time is now. And let's leave all this party politics out of partisanship out of the picture. And let's come together to deal with the canker that's going to kill all of us. It doesn't matter which political party you are in.
Okay, let's talk about solution now. Apart from a state of emergency, give me 2 other ways we can end this menace.
Well, one way of ending this menace is looking at getting your people into, I've talked about the green economy, and then enforcement. Because you see, whatever you do, if you're not prepared to enforce, forget about it. And the problem we have with Ghana is the lack of enforcement. Don't build on Ramsar sites. People go and build on Ramsar sites, and then you just watch and you don't do anything about it. So you need to enforce. We've said that stop the importation of excavators. It's a solution. We do not need them. Start looking at tourism, other ways in which we can make sure of the beautiful environment God has given us, and start doing that. People thought that cooperative mining might be a solution, because if you want to mine After all, some people may see mining as an option. If you want to mine, then mine responsibly. That is one thing one can look at. But for me, leave out all this cooperative mining or community mining only because we don't have an appetite for enforcing anything. I got a splitting headache because last night, a pub decided it was having an event playing such loud music. And what were the duty bearers doing? Absolutely nothing, because we don't have a culture of enforcement. So if you're asking for the solutions, you can't have any solutions until you get rid of the fire. So let's stop the fire from burning. After the fire has finished burning, then we can look at the beautiful environments we have, how we can capitalize on it for the well-being of Ghanaians and also to get some livelihood. We can start training forest guards who are going to patrol our forests. We can start, so many things. We've talked about how the forest is a resource. There's so many plants that we can plant that would give us results. We look at snails, for instance. Do you know that, for example, the slime on the snails, it's an anti-aging agent? And in Europe, they're afraid of aging. In Africa, we know that it's a sign of wisdom to have gray hairs. They would like to dye all the hair. They'd like to remove all the wrinkles. And the slime from the snails is used for that. So there are so many other solutions, other things we can do to make sure that people have a livelihood without the destruction of our forest reserves, which are a pharmacy, because we have a lot of trees that have medicinal purposes. So I'm not saying I have all the solutions, but what I can say is that you can't even look at solutions whilst the house is burning. Let's focus on putting out the fire.
Ola, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Ola Sewa is a coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens, an NGO or civil society organization involved in the fight against illegal mining. Gentlemen, now let's talk solutions. Now I'll start with you. How do we fight or end this menace of Galamsey apart from the declaration of a state of emergency?
Number one, government should now concede to the fact that I made a lot of comments that were not the true reflection of the state. Hence, I retract, I apologize, so that everybody would be willing and ready to come on board to help the government to fight. That is first. Admit that you were not truthful to Ghanaians when you told them that all you need to fight Galamsey was 1 week. Admit that you were calling for state of emergency when you do not know what it takes to declare state of emergency. Admit that you were accusing people wrongly for the things they did not do, so that people, everybody, would now be willing and ready to say that, hey, we are coming back, we are coming on board, we are helping you, we are supporting you to fight Galamsey. Because if you don't do that, that was why the reconciliation was important. Because how do you accuse Fred of involving in Galamsey? And Fred loses his entitlement. Then you come to sit in, and now you tell Fred, come, let's fight Galamsey. You think Fred will come? You think Fred will be willing? You think Fred will help you and say that, look, I did these things and I failed. So when you are going to do something else, be careful when you get to this slope because it is slippery, so you don't fail too. That is important. 2, solutions. The things we told Ghanaians that we are going to do, let us do them so that the people have confidence in us and help us fight the menace. Because if the people don't have confidence in us, it will be difficult for the people to join hands with us and fight Galamsey. You told them you will repeal, revoke the laws. You don't take this long after enjoying the benefit to revoke this law. You told them you will do this, you will do this, you will do that. Do the things you promise them you will do, so that they will have confidence in you that you are fighting Galamsey. Number 3, the things that were done in the previous government, which were good, when you pick them to do, admit and acknowledge that, hey, these things were being done by the previous government or were being done before I came. I admit they are good things and I want to continue. Because the point that you want to demonize everything that was done by the previous government will not help you in the fight for Galamsey. It will not help you. The previous government brought the drones. You think the drones were not helping? Or did not help? So tomorrow when you go and buy drones, what do you want people to say? Now I heard the president say they will fight Galamsey with AI. We are still waiting. They introduced the water guards. You came to add blue to it. They introduced community mining, trying to make it look like everything that was done was not good. Then you come in to do the same things. 4, if you are a responsible government, there are other solutions and roadmap that were given by all the political parties towards fighting Galamsey. Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Maumia, leading the MPP, had a clear way, roads, how he believed he was going to fight Galamsey. Honorable Alan Chemantin had. Every candidate did. And those things are important too. Revert, get them to the table. Let us see, how were you going to do this or implement this policy you wrote or work on this thing you talked about or you did this, you did it. How were you going to do it? How do we all come on to the table to do it? That is one of the ways. Because the MPP said that, look, even the licensing, even the legal jurisdiction will now be sent to the district so that the district will be looked at. We made the point clear that look, you cannot fight Galamsey without the chiefs, the local people. Look, they are the owners of the land. When they decide that you mine. Even if, you see, all minerals that are in the land belongs to the government. So if you sit in Accra and you do your survey or your technical things, and you find that I have a land or there is a gold deposit in a land in Esiwa, and you take the license here, and you come to Esiwa, and I am the chief of Esiwa, and I tell you that I won't let you mine, what will you do? What will happen? Yeah. I tell you that where you took the license, there is some water body close there. If I allow you mine, it will affect this water body. There is no way you tell me you mine without affecting this water body. I won't let you mine. What will happen? So the involvement of the local people and the chiefs is key and critical. We were telling you that, look, you may be blaming government, but there are other stakeholders you need to look at. It is not just government.
You give me 5 solutions.
I've given you more. How
5?
many?
It's 5.
Yes.
Give me the last one.
You want more?
Last one.
You want more?
Last one, making it 6.
So I believe strongly that we must implement or enforce the laws we have.
Okay.
The laws we have are very good laws, which I believe they are. Very, very good laws. We must enforce those laws. Quite recently, I noticed that the task force, the Galamsey task force that were formed by the government have been called back, have been, dissolved.
It's not a task force, it's the IGPs. You know the IGP also...
Was it not fighting Galamsey?
Yes, it's the IGPs.
And so what is the difference? I'm telling you, the Galamsey task force have been called, dissolved.
There's already a task force which is operating now. But what has been withdrawn is the one set up or formed by the IGP.
What was it doing?
To also aid in the fight. They say they want to re-strategize it and then it will come back. So I'm just giving you a clear distinction. Okay, thank you very much for the 6 solutions. So he says, number 1, admission. Look, number 2, implement and fulfill all promises made in the fight against Galamsey. Number 3, continue the good policies and programs started by the previous administration in ending galamsey. Number 4, implement the roadmap brought or presented by the political parties, all the political parties in ending galamsey. Number 5, collaborate with the local authorities. And number 6, enforce the laws.
So how many is he giving us? He's also giving us 6.
He's also going to give us our
6.
solutions.
Okay, so we are writing.
The first 3 things that my madam Nana mentioned, when you're ready, it makes sense to you. You yourself. Nana, when you explain, I didn't talk. And I didn't stop.
Listen. I take a very strong exception. Listen, your solution may not be my solution.
Have you finished?
No, hold on. Your solutions may not be my solution.
I'll speak for you here. No.
So give your solution.
Are you there?
They don't ask you to criticize.
Allow me to speak, Nana.
I'll speak for you here. So
give your solution.
Ask him for solutions to end it. Aside a state of emergency. He's giving us, hold on. He's giving us 6 solutions.
6.
I asked you to also give us your solution. What you think we can do to end it?
I am only asking you a question. You said Nana has given you.
I don't have an answer.
Hold it. 6 solutions.
Yes.
And I'm asking you that the first 3, 1, that we should admit.
I don't have an answer.
That the criticism that we made of them was wrong. Did it make sense?
I don't have an answer.
And what is this same impression you are creating that Ghanaians who criticize you, Ghanaians who demonstrated, Ghanaians who called you out, didn't know what was going on in this country, and that was NDC that informed them of the wrongs that were going on. What? They didn't see the water body themselves. No. They didn't see the vegetation themselves. They didn't see the position of your government. Well, you know, in this country, when you say you confiscated excavators, and they turned into birds and they flew out of the country. Were we not here? We didn't listen to Professor. We didn't listen to Professor Fipon Boateng's report. Professor Fipon Boateng, we didn't read. My friend BC, we didn't hear them. Announce expose, we didn't see the videos. You have forgotten.
Are these the solutions?
No, I am saying that. It should not have said that. Those things that said when I was speaking.
The millions of Ghanaians who are listening to us want solutions.
When I was speaking from the word go, I started with solutions. No. The first solution I gave when I was talking over here is that if it is the case that we don't want to ban mining completely in this country, then what we should do, 1, is that we should invest more into research. I said that here. Invest more into research. Let us identify the gold belt so that when the miners move in there, they don't have to just go digging everywhere and destroy the water bodies and the vegetation. They will go straight to the belt. Then I said 2, we should make sure that whilst they move and doing the mining, there's a second group that is following them, that is doing land reclamation. And there should be a third group that is doing afforestation. You didn't hear me say all these things? You didn't? You didn't hear me say that we need to go back to the constitution and look at even our law and make sure that the law that says that all the minerals that have been named the F-class belongs to the government. The state has the power to decide what they want to do. So that Mineral Commission can sit in Accra and give a line to somebody to go and mine his constituency. Let's see some of those power to the chiefs and the local authority, the assemblies, so that the assemblies can be in full control. The chiefs can be in full control. You didn't hear me say that? You didn't hear? Oh no, tell me. When we know this guy, when we're sitting around this, we didn't hear me say that we need to check the importation of excavators. And that mining has been with us all these many years. And that what has created the problem is the introduction of these fines and excavators. And that those that when our boys were using pickers, shovels, and head pans, we didn't have the kind of plate that we have. And so you can stop the moving in of this equipment, we will make a headway. You didn't hear me say that? Hello? You were not listening to me? There are no reasonable solutions. You understand? So I am saying that, didn't you hear me when I said that there's nothing that government cannot fight? Once the will is there and the commitment and determination is there, government can do it. You didn't hear me say that? And that we need to rise up and confront this issue head on before it becomes an albatross around our necks, if it is already not an albatross. You didn't hear me say all those things? and they are not
So
solutions.
are they reasonable?
Can you, if you think they are not reasonable, that's your
Thank you.
decision.
So you
I am saying that yours were not reasonable to
me.
me.
Points and you believe their points are reasonable.
I am saying that if you tell me that your solution is that we should admit that we accuse the MPP of being galamsey, as though to suggest that you didn't do galamsey, and that we're only accusing you, I'm saying that if that's your solution, it didn't make sense to me. And I don't think that solution makes sense to anybody viewing us. Because the truth is that you were engaging galamsey. And Ghanaians demonstrated and did all the things that they did because we were doing the wrong thing. So don't come and sit on a platform here and say that you were not doing anything wrong and that Ghanaians were only accusing you for it. And that NDC led that charge. That's the point I'm making. That is the point I'm making. And so for me, the health implication of galamsey is not something we can joke with again. We cannot. This that is today. Go to most of the supermarkets. It will interest you to know that we are already starting importing water to this country already. We are importing drinking water to this country already. And go and try the cost of importing the water. And so for the next 10 years, 20 years, if we allow this galamsey thing to continue the way it is going, what is going to happen to all of us? What is going to happen to all of us? We all travel around the country, we drink all manner of water, we eat all manner of chocolates. We don't know the chemicals that are in the food that we are eating. We are alluded to the fact that when we go to our hospitals, the data that is coming out is not a nice one. It's not a nice one. It's not something you can gloss over again. Why? In time past, we took the security men to the galamsey fights. Later we are told some of them even compromise themselves. Was that not true? Major Muhammad and the rest who died painfully, was it not this same galamsey fight? Even under the MPP, you brought a first group, Operation Cow Leg, Operation Vanguard. You did all manner of things. Did it work? Did it stop galamsey? And so if today the security actor said, let's withdraw, let's re-strategize, let's move in. You say you don't understand that English? You said they brought drones in this country. They brought drones. By the time they were leaving office, we were even asking for the drones. We didn't even see where the drones are. After they sold the drones and they took them to the house, it's only God in heaven that knows. Where are the drones that they brought in? Where are they? And so please, I am saying that I cannot sit on this platform and say NDC people or some NDC people are not involved in the galamsey activities. I cannot. Because I am reliably aware and informed that there are persons from our stock. In fact, yesterday, the MCE from Chebi, what's the name? Obakwa North, right? Yeah. Not Obakwa North District.
Is it Akins Ado?
Yes, I think
that's
so.
His name, yeah.
He appeared before the local government committee of parliament. And he admitted that his constituency chairman's children were involved in galamsey. No, one of the Chinese constituency, one of the chairman's children were involved in galamsey. And they went there to arrest them. And so, I am aware that the NDC people are involved. I am aware MP people are involved. The point he made earlier, I collaborated. That the MP guys who were doing the galamsey, when power changed, most of them now, as if they've taken a back seat.
Okay.
And as the NDC guys, now be at the forefront. Where we have gotten to, we should be bold enough to say that it has nothing to do with NDC, NDC again. It has all to do with Ghana. If you are a criminal, regardless of your political affiliation, let us deal with you as a criminal.
Okay, fine. In 10 seconds, our time
you
is
understand?
up.
So for me, that is my argument. I am all out for us fighting galamsey and fighting a solution to it. I must put on record that whether we like it or not, NDC, MPP, we have played a major role. We have sat back.
In where we are
have
now.
Contributed.
In where we are now. Okay.
And so it is in our collective interest that we take responsibility and help fight the issue.
And it's a collective interest for the two parties to also help the fight. against
Why
Indian
not?
man. Our time is up, Nana. Our time is up. It's 12. It's 12. It's 12. Our time is up. Gentlemen, our time is up. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. You had Nana Asafo. Gentlemen, our time is up. Our time is up. Nana Asafo is the member of parliament for the Bosome Freo constituency in the Ashanti region. Fred Agbenyo is a member of parliament for the Guan constituency in the OT region. You also heard Awula Sewa, coordinator of Eco Conscious Citizens. And also you heard Andy Apia Dankwa, who is the spokesperson to the movement of change. And that's how we bring to an end today's edition of The Big Issue. That came to you live from our studio here in the crowd. My name is Sammi Wiafe. I sat in for a regular host, Salom Adoni. So we'll come your way again next week. May the good Lord be with us all.